Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I became stronger by spending money. I became an emperor before the entrance examination. Chapter 61. Seeing that there were still a lot of wealth points left, Yi Tian did not plan to keep them. System: improve my cultivation. Yi Tian's heart moved, and he immediately issued an order. Soon, a series of pleasant reminders sounded in his mind. Ding! Consume 150,000 wealth points. The host's cultivation is upgraded to the first level of the general realm. Ding! Consume 150,000 wealth points. The host's cultivation is upgraded to the second level of the general realm. As the reminders continued to appear, Yi Tian's cultivation was also constantly soaring. Huge changes continued to occur in his dantian. Finally, an extremely condensed, full of amazing vitality fluctuations, and a deep purple thunder crystal ball with a diameter of 1 meter appeared. After the cultivator's cultivation breaks through to the general realm, the vitality cyclone and essence liquid in the dantian will condense into a solid crystal ball. However, for ordinary second-level generals, the crystal balls in their dantian are only the size of a fist. Even if they are cultivators of the king-level top-grade skills. When they reached the level 2 military commander realm, the diameter of the Yuanjing ball in their dantian was only about 20 centimeters. But the volume of the Yuanjing ball in Yi Tian's dantian was more than 100 times theirs. The most important thing is that Yi Tian's silence thunder qi is more pure, powerful, and contains the meaning of silence thunder. This also makes Yi Tian's combat power surpass the same level many times. If it were the previous Wang Jinglin, Yi Tian believed that with his current strength, he could kill the opponent with a casual blow. This is the confidence that the strongest Zun level technique brings to Yi Tian. Especially after practicing this technique to the level of artistic conception, Yi Tian is no longer afraid of, and even kills any military commander in Anshang. After reaching the military commander realm, my speed of refining the teleportation holy ring is also faster, and I can also use my own energy to activate the teleportation holy ring, which is equivalent to having the ability to teleport. But Fenner is a level 4 military commander realm cultivator. Why did she take so long to deal with Wang Jinglin before? Feeling his strength after the rapid increase in cultivation, Yi Tian couldn't help but have such doubts in his heart. Fenner was able to give her the top-grade holy weapon, which shows that her background is not simple. Her parents or family are likely to have a beast emperor level strongman. So the level of the technique that Fenner practiced should not be low, and it is very likely to be an emperor level technique. Even if Fenner's cultivation rate is not high, her combat power should not be so low. As Fenner's vitality not strong and not suitable for fighting. Yi Tian didn't know if it was what he thought, and immediately stopped thinking about it. After Fenner's retreat is over, he will know by asking. Then Yi Tian looked at the attribute panel and saw that the wealth value was still more than 70,000. He said again in his heart. System: use all the wealth value to improve the cultivation rate of the thunder slash of destruction. With the holy ring of transfer, Yi Tian doesn't have to worry about his speed not being as fast as others. He plans to increase his attack power. Ding! Consume 30,000 points of wealth value, and practice the thunder slash of destruction to the entry-level mastery level. As the voice fell, Yi Tian received a large amount of profound information in his mind. Soon he had a certain understanding of this supreme martial art and could use it. In this way, Yi Tian has one more powerful means to fight against the enemy. He looked at the attribute panel, and the information on it had changed greatly. Host: Yi Tian. Realm: Level 2 General. Skills: Thunder of Destruction, Strongest Respect Level. Artistic Realm: Thunder King Skill, King Level Supreme, Perfect. Martial Arts: Thunder of Destruction, Respect Level Supreme. Entry Level: Thunder Slashing Sword Skill, King Level Supreme, Perfect. Thunder Violent Step, King Level Supreme, Perfect. Broken Gold Sword Chi, High Level, Perfect. Wind Step, Middle Level, Perfect. Spirit Bird Step, Beginner Level, Perfect. Stacked Wave Sword Skill, Beginner Level, Perfect. Secret Technique: Great Hidden Chi Ju, General Level, Perfect. Chi Identification Technique, High Level, Perfect. Hidden Chi Ju, Middle Level, Perfect. Weapon: Black Gold Long Sword, Brigadier General Level. Other items: Holy Ring of Transfer, Space Ring, Space Bag *2, Pills, Skills, Food, Water, Tents, etc. Wealth value: 43,400 points. A trip to the deciduous forest can be said to have brought me a lot of gains, and my strength has skyrocketed. It's just that the black gold long sword is no longer suitable for me to use. I have to get a good sword. Yi Tian muttered to himself after taking a look at the black gold long sword in the space ring. It's not that you are not good, it's that I have become stronger. Seeing that the sky was gradually getting darker, Yi Tian walked towards home. Half an hour later, Yi Tian came to the outside of his community. At this moment, he noticed that someone was staring at him in secret. Seeing that there were many neighbors who went out for a walk at night, Yi Tian immediately turned around and walked towards a small forest west of the community. When he walked into the small forest, he turned around and looked in the direction of a big tree behind him, and said in a flat voice, "You followed me all the way, what do you want to do? Boy, you can actually find me. It's really interesting, then tell me how you found me." After hearing Yi Tian's voice, a middle-aged man walked out from behind the big tree. He was wearing ordinary black clothes, of medium height, and not outstanding in appearance. He looked at Yi Tian with doubt and curiosity in his eyes. The black-clothed man obviously didn't understand why he, a level 10 martial master, was discovered by a level 3 martial master. He became curious after being puzzled. Yi Tian didn't answer the black-clothed man, but asked calmly, "You are following me not just because you are jealous of my handsomeness, right? What do you want to do by following me?" Not feeling the murderous aura from the man, Yi Tian didn't do it directly. At the same time, his brain was thinking quickly about the reason why this middle-aged man with a level 10 martial master was following him. He shouldn't be from the martial arts loan company. Those small companies are good enough to have martial masters in charge. The worst martial arts loan companies are only supported by martial artists. So this black-clothed man is not from the martial arts loan company. In addition, only the Wu family has a relationship with me, and only such a big family can send out masters of this level. Boy, if you dare not answer my questions normally, I will definitely teach you a lesson and then kill you. But Manager Chen asked me to take you back immediately, so you were lucky, so I will spare you this time. But you'd better be honest and follow me, otherwise don't blame me for being rude to you." Seeing that Yi Tian did not answer his questions, the middle-aged man walked in front of Yi Tian with a cold voice. At the same time, a breath of a level 10 martial master was released from him, pressing towards Yi Tian like a tide. If Yi Tian was really a level 3 martial artist, this breath alone would cause him internal injuries. This person kept saying, "Spare him this time," but he was doing hypocritical things, even if there was a threat in it. Humph! Seeing the black-clothed man shoot at him, Yi Tian immediately snorted coldly. The next moment, an even more terrifying breath burst out from him. Like a huge wave rushing to the sky. In an instant, the momentum of the man in black was crushed into nothingness, and then he pressed hard on the man in black. The amazing aura of the level 2 general was comparable to that of a level 10 general who practiced the king level top grade martial arts, and pressed heavily on the man in black, just like pressing on tofu. Crack, crack, crack. The man in black suddenly felt like a small mountain was pressing on him. A lot of bones in his body broke in an instant. His legs knelt on the ground weakly. Then his upper body fell down. The whole person was pressed to the ground and couldn't move at all. You are actually a general, a level 2 general, but why is your momentum so terrible?" Feeling the amazing aura emanating from Yi Tian, the man in black was stunned. He was very puzzled. The steward clearly told him that Yi Tian only had the cultivation level of a level 3 martial artist. How could the cultivation level fluctuation of a level 2 general suddenly burst out? Even riding a roller coaster doesn't have such a big span, right? What shocked, frightened and terrified the man in black the most was that even though Yi Tian was only at the level 2 military commander realm, the aura he released was no weaker than that of those powerful level 10 military commanders. The man in black used all his strength to stutter out his doubts. He wanted to stabilize his almost shattered worldview and his uneasy and terrified heart. Yi Tian had no intention of satisfying the man in black's curiosity. He squatted down, looked at the man in black calmly with a look of shock and extreme fear, and asked calmly, "Tell me, who is the steward Chen you mentioned? Why did you ask me to see him?" When asking this question, Yi Tian actually had a guess in his heart. The steward Chen mentioned by the man in black must be someone from the Wu family. This man in black is a level 10 martial master, and the steward Chen he mentioned must be a strong man with the cultivation of a military commander. A strong man at this level is just a steward, which shows that the strength of his force must be very strong. Only 4 major forces in Ancheng City can do this, and among the 4 major forces, he only has a grudge against the Wu family. Boy. I. The man had a hard time speaking because of Yi Tian's strong aura. Seeing this, Yi Tian retracted some of his aura, and the man in black spoke smoothly. He said, "Boy, I'm not afraid to tell you that it was Manager Chen Shan who asked me to take you back. Not only is he a level 7 general, but he is also from the Wu family. If you know what's good for you, let me go immediately. If I can't go back tonight, Manager Chen Shan will come to find you in person. Although your aura is very strong, your cultivation level is only the 2nd level military commander level after all. If Manager Chen Shan takes action personally, you will not have the slightest chance to fight back. If you let me go, I can promise you that nothing happened. What do you think?" The black-clothed man's words were 3/10 of truth and 7/10 of threats. But after he finished speaking, he realized that Yi Tian's aura was even more terrifying. However, this time the aura was not directed at his whole body, but at his right hand. Crack, crack, crack. A series of heart-numbing sounds rang out. The bones in the black-clothed man's right hand were all broken in an instant, and the severe pain made him howl. Ah, it hurts. Boy, aren't you afraid that Manager Chen Shan will kill you if you do this to me? His voice was loud, but it was quickly sealed by Yi Tian with his energy to prevent others from hearing it. Yi Tian immediately sneered and said, "If you dare to threaten me again, you will not be able to get your remaining 3 limbs intact. Now tell me the specific information of the Manager Chen Shan you mentioned. What level of skills does he practice? What weapons and martial arts does he use? Where does he live? I'm letting you speak now. If you dare to shout again, don't blame me for being rude to you." Yi Tian's voice was calm but indifferent, which made the man in black shudder. His decisive and fierce actions also let the man in black know that Yi Tian was not someone who could be fooled. In order to avoid physical pain, the man in black began to tell him everything he knew and told him everything Yi Tian wanted to know. Chen Shan, the manager of the Chen family's intelligence department, a 7th level general. The skills he practiced were the king-level top-grade skills, and he was proficient in several perfect high-level martial arts, 2 great general-level martial arts, and the weapon he used was a general-level broadsword. It's a pity that this man in black doesn't know why Chen Shan asked him to take me to see him, but this matter may be related to Wu Xuanming's death. Does the Wu family already know that I killed Wu Xuanming? Thinking of this, Yi Tian's eyes moved slightly, and he already had a plan in his mind. He glanced at the man in black lying on the ground like a dead dog, and then decisively ended his life. After taking off the space bag on the man in black, Yi Tian burned his body to ashes with a fire, and then sent out a gust of yuanqi wind to blow away the ashes. In this way, no one would have thought that a master of the 10th level martial arts sect had died here. Swish. After doing all this, Yi Tian ran in one direction. Inner city of Ancheng City. Jinxiu Villa. In a luxurious room in Villa number 1. Master, it's dark, let's go to bed and rest. I have learned a new skill, which will definitely make you feel like heaven and death. A woman in her early 20s, wearing revealing clothes, sat on Chen Shan's thighs, with her hands on Chen Shan's shoulders, her face full of charm. Looking at the beauty in his arms, especially the part of the woman's upper body that was almost exposed, Chen Shan's heart was burning. He wanted to immediately press the woman under him and teach her a lesson. But he had important things to do today, so he had to resist the desire and let the woman leave. After the woman left, Chen Shan immediately put his hands behind his back and paced back and forth in the room alone, with a touch of anxiety on his brows. Jia Qi is a level 10 martial master. Logically, he should have brought that kid back long ago. Why hasn't he come back yet? Seeing that time was getting later and later, Chen Shan felt more and more uneasy. After receiving the news that Yi Tian had returned from the Fallen Leaf Forest, he sent Jia Qi to keep an eye on Yi Tian. Let Jia Qi bring Yi Tian back when he finds a suitable opportunity. Jia Qi had previously sent him a message telling him that Yi Tian did not return to the Thunder Martial Arts School but returned to his home in the outer city. He also said that he would be able to bring Yi Tian back soon. But Chen Shan has not received any news from Jia Qi until now, and even the message he sent to Jia Qi has fallen into the sea. This made Chen Shan very worried. He is Jia Qi's immediate superior and knows Jia Qi well. He knows that Jia Qi dare not reply after seeing his message. Unless he is held up by something, or the result he does not want to think about. However, Chen Shan is not worried that Jia Qi will not be able to take down Yi Tian. He is worried that Jia Qi has alarmed the people in the Thunder Martial Arts School. Even if Yi Tian is gifted, his cultivation is only at the level 3 martial artist level. How can he be the opponent of Jia Qi, who is at the level 10 martial master level? Because of Yi Tian's giftedness, Chen Shan is worried that the Thunder Martial Arts School has secretly arranged people to protect him. If Jia Qi was held back by the people of the Thunder Martial Arts School, not only would he not be able to catch Yi Tian, but he would also alert the enemy. Chen Shan knew that if the head of the family knew about this, he would definitely punish him severely. Dong dong dong. At this time, there was a knock on the door. Are you finally back? Hearing the knock on the door, Chen Shan thought it was Jia Qi who came back. He was immediately delighted, and walked to the door in 2 steps and opened it. But what caught his eye was not Jia Qi, but a purple sword energy containing amazing vitality fluctuations, which slashed at him at an extremely fast speed. Jingxiu Villa is not far from the Wu family mansion, and Chen Shan is also a level 7 general. So he never thought that someone would come here to attack him. And this person is Yi Tian. Chen Shan has investigated Yi Tian's information, so he naturally knows Yi Tian. Especially Yi Tian is too handsome, and anyone who sees him once will probably never forget him for the rest of his life. He is engaged in intelligence work, and his memory is particularly good, so he will never forget it. But Chen Shan never thought that Yi Tian would come to attack him. The power of his attack actually contained a wave of vitality that made him tremble. Vitality armor. Mysterious Earth Shield. Chen Shan was a level 7 general after all, and his reaction was quick. He immediately activated the vitality armor to protect himself, and at the same time used the general level defensive martial arts that he had cultivated to perfection. Buzz buzz buzz. In an instant, Chen Shan's body burst into dazzling brown-yellow vitality, which turned into a thick layer of vitality armor covering his entire body. He released a majestic brown-yellow vitality with both hands, which soon turned into a brown-yellow vitality shield to protect him. However, Chen Shan's reaction was after Yi Tian's move. Before his mysterious earth shield was completely formed, the powerful sword energy transformed by Yi Tian's destruction thunder slash had already slashed over. The destructive power of destruction thunder vitality is amazing, and with the blessing of the entry-level supreme martial arts, the power becomes even more terrifying. Under this sword energy, the Xuantu shield that Chen Shan was so proud of was like the remnant snow meeting the sun in the dog days of summer. It turned into nothingness in an instant. Following that, the terrifying purple blade energy of the almost undamaged silent thunder slash was transformed. With a bang, Chen Shan was chopped off and flew away. The powerful defensive armor on his body was also broken in an instant by the sword energy. The powerful sword energy left a huge wound on his chest that almost penetrated his chest. Bang! Chen Shan was hit and flew away and suffered secondary damage. His body smashed the hard concrete wall behind him, and then he fell on an open space outside the villa. Large streams of steaming blood gushed out from his chest. Chen Shan's face turned pale all of a sudden, and he was about to die. Chen Shan hurriedly took out the flesh-growing pill, hemostatic pill, and healing pill from the space ring to eat. He was the manager of the Wu family and was rich. He swallowed 4 or 5 general-level flesh-growing pills, 7 or 8 general-level hemostatic pills, and 7 or 8 general-level healing pills in one gulp. These high-level pills have a good healing effect. If it were a wound caused by other attacks, it would still be able to stabilize the injury. But what Chen Shan encountered was Yi Tian's Silence Thunder Vitality Energy combined with the Silence Thunder Slash to form the terrible Silence Thunder Blade Qi. This kind of Blade Qi is not only destructive, but also has a powerful silencing effect. So Chen Shan has not yet realized that most of his internal organs, flesh and bones in his chest have turned into nothingness. It's not as simple as breaking. Sure enough, after taking a lot of pills, Chen Shan found something wrong. Not only did his injuries not recover at all, but some pills fell out of his chest. Chen Shan only noticed his situation at this time. He looked at the terrible injury on his chest with disbelief. He looked up at Yi Tian, who had walked in front of him, with a dull face. At this moment, his brain seemed to be short-circuited, blank. He wanted to say something but didn't know what to say. As long as the hearts and brains of the warriors are not broken, they will not die immediately even if other organs are seriously injured. Yi Tian knew this and deliberately avoided most of Chen Shan's heart, so that Chen Shan would not die immediately. Tell me, why did you let Jia Qi bring me to see you? Yi Tian swung the black gold long sword and sent out several sword qi to cut off Chen Shan's limbs, making him completely no longer a threat to himself, and then squatted in front of him and asked calmly. After hearing Yi Tian's words, Chen Shan came back to his senses from being confused, shocked and unbelievable. However, his eyes were full of horror when he looked at Yi Tian. At this time, he also realized that Yi Tian's cultivation was not a level 3 martial artist at all, but a level 2 martial general. The key is not important. The most important thing is that this 18-year-old boy has the cultivation of a level 2 martial general, and his combat power can actually cross 5 small realms. One blow almost sent him to have tea with King Yama. Is this kid so evil? This is not the posture of a martial emperor, even the posture of a great emperor can't stop it. Chen Shan suddenly regretted it in his heart. Why did he tell the head of the family about Yi Tian? Now, not only did the Wu family fail to catch Yi Tian, but his life was also over. Most of his internal organs were turned into nothingness. Unless he had the vitality pill, he would not live long. Even if the vitality of a martial arts practitioner is very strong, he can stabilize his heart for a period of time. But the human body cannot live long without these organs. Knowing that he was going to die, Chen Shan suddenly laughed. Looking at the puzzled Yi Tian, he sneered, "Boy, you want to know why, right? I just won't tell you. Anyway, I'm going to die, and I won't let you get what you want even if I die. If you have the guts, kill me now. If you don't dare, I will look down on you." Knowing that he would not live long, Chen Shan completely let go, and he was not satisfied with the ridicule and provoked Yi Tian. Seeing this, Yi Tian just smiled coldly. He did not kill Chen Shan immediately, but said his own speculation. If I am not mistaken, it was the Wu family who asked you to arrest me. It must be the intention of the head of the Wu family. Let me guess. Did the Wu family find out that I killed Wu Xuanming, or did my performance in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall surprise them, so they asked you to send someone to arrest me? Anyway, no matter which one it is related to the Wu family. Chen Shan, since you are going to die, don't you want to take revenge on the Wu family? If they hadn't asked you to arrest me, you wouldn't have angered me and wouldn't have lost your life. You are a level 7 general, and this level of cultivation is already a strong man in Ancheng City. If there was no order from the Wu family, you could still live well and enjoy a lot of money and women, but you just lost your life like this. The female martial artist in your bedroom is so beautiful, and I don't know which man will be lucky enough to marry her after you die. Don't you hate the Wu family at all for losing these? So, tell me everything you know. I can promise you that I will avenge the Wu family for you. Yi Tian spoke calmly, as if Chen Shan's injuries had nothing to do with him. However, his sincere words did work. Chen Shan became more and more angry as he listened. Especially when he thought of the Wu family's head, Wu Yuanai, who usually didn't take them, his subordinates, seriously. He would release his aura to oppress them at any time. Every time they did a task that did not satisfy this old guy, they would be severely punished by this old guy. Thinking of this, Chen Shan's eyes suddenly turned red and his face became very distorted. Obviously, Yi Tian's words deeply touched him. Chen Shan looked at Yi Tian seriously and said, "Boy, are you sure? As long as I tell you everything I know, you will help me deal with the Wu family." Chen Shan was seriously injured and asked Yi Tian weakly. In fact, if he had descendants, he would never be bewitched by Yi Tian's words. But he is a lonely man. There is no need to worry about the Wu family retaliating against him after knowing that he betrayed them. How can the Wu family retaliate against him if the people are dead? Chen Shan's heart became twisted when he thought that the Wu family treated him like a dog. Chen Shan felt very good and tempted when he thought that he had the opportunity to retaliate against the Wu family now. Seeing that Chen Shan was already tempted, Yi Tian smiled slightly and said sincerely, "Don't worry, I will naturally do what I promised you. And if the Wu family wants to deal with me, even if you die, they will send others to deal with me. So the hatred between the Wu family and I cannot be resolved at all. Even if it's not for you, I will deal with the Wu family. But if you promise me, I can add your name when I kill the Wu family in the future. I guess they will die with regret when they know that their deaths are related to their former subordinates. Quote. Boy. You are honest. Ask whatever you want to ask, and I will tell you the truth. But I also hope you promise me that you can let Shu Lan go after I die, the woman in my bedroom. Since you know she is very beautiful, you must have seen her. If you like her, let her follow you in the future. I just hope you don't just treat her as a tool for gratification." Yi Tian was stunned for a moment after hearing Chen Shan's request. He didn't expect that this guy would give his woman to him before he died. In fact, Yi Tian came here very early, in order to prevent others from finding out that he killed Chen Shan. He investigated the situation of the people in the villa before attacking Chen Shan. He has a perfect great hidden Qi-ju. Yi Tian entered the villa as if he was in an empty space, and soon learned that there were only 3 people in the villa. Chen Shan is not to be mentioned. One of the remaining 2 is a female nanny who lives in the house. He was knocked unconscious by him and it is estimated that she will not wake up until tomorrow night. The other is a young woman sleeping in the master bedroom upstairs. Although she is not as beautiful as Yao Ruowu, she is also very beautiful, especially her figure is very good. Yi Tian is not a person who kills innocent people indiscriminately. He also just knocked her unconscious and then knocked on the door of the room where Chen Shan was. Yi Tian shook his head and said, "Don't worry, I am not a person who kills innocent people indiscriminately. I just knocked out your woman and the nanny, and they will wake up tomorrow. You don't have much time, tell me what happened." Chen Shan was relieved to hear that Yi Tian did not intend to hurt his woman. He immediately told everything he knew. Chen Shan died after he finished speaking. After Yi Tian confirmed that he was really dead, he took off his space ring, burned Chen Shan's body to ashes, and then used his energy to turn it into wind to blow it away. A level 7 general, a cultivator who was considered a strong man in Ancheng City, just returned to dust. It was a simple death. Just in case before going back, Yi Tian went into the villa again to check the status of the female nanny and Shu Lan. After confirming that they did not wake up in the middle, he took away the energy that isolated their ears and left here. As for Shu Lan, this woman, Yi Tian naturally did not think of accepting her. He was not a man who wanted every woman. Fortunately, the Wu family only wanted to capture me because of my extraordinary talent, and did not know that I killed Wu Xuanming. In this way, I don't have to face the wrath of the Wu family immediately. But since I have caught the eye of Wu Yuanai, even if he doesn't think that I killed Chen Shan, I am afraid he will send someone to capture me. I'm not afraid, but I'm afraid that if they can't catch me, they will harm my parents. On the way back, Yi Tian walked and thought based on the information he got from Chen Shan. Yi Tian knew that the main reason was that his current strength was too weak. If he had the cultivation of a martial king now, he wouldn't have to be afraid of the Wu family. Even the Wu family's patriarch Wu Yuanai, who had the cultivation of a level 8 martial king. I need to make more money and improve my cultivation to the martial king realm as soon as possible. To prevent them from harming my parents, I also need to let my parents live in a safe place. Thinking of a safe place, the first thing Yi Tian thought of was the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. There are also differences in strength among the 4 major forces in Ancheng City. The City Lord's Mansion is the well-deserved first, and the City Defense Army ranks second. Thunder Martial Arts Hall is third, and the Wu family can only be ranked fourth. In addition to the 2 martial kings of the Thunder Martial Arts Hall, both of whom are much stronger than the 2 martial kings of the Wu family. Thunder Martial Arts Hall also has many more geniuses, martial masters and martial generals than the Wu family. If my parents can live in the Thunder Martial Arts School, they won't have to worry about the Wu family hurting them. The only difficulty is that I can only live in the House of Thunder Martial Arts School by myself. Forget it, I'll ask Ruawu tonight. Maybe she can make the decision to let my parents move into Thunder Martial Arts School. If not, I can also try to find the two kings. Thinking of Yao Ruawu and the two kings' optimism for him, Yi Tian felt that they should agree to let his parents live in Thunder Martial Arts School. If not, then he would just leave Thunder Martial Arts School. In addition to letting his parents move into Thunder Martial Arts School, Yi Tian is not without other ways. He also has the holy ring of transferring given by Fanner. At worst, let my parents be lonely for a while and live in the holy ring of transferring. Thinking of this, Yi Tian felt relieved. When I got home, it was already dark. Mom, is Dad out for a part-time job again? Finding that his father was not at home so late, Yi Tian walked into his parents' room and asked his mother, who was leaning against the wall at the head of the bed. Wu Fang did not rest, but was still knitting a sweater. Not to mention that her mother's hands are really skillful, and she can knit sweaters with various beautiful patterns. Flowers are like peonies, roses, chrysanthemums, orchids, etc. Animals are horses, lions, elephants, pandas, Mickey Mouse, etc. There are also cartoon characters and various beautiful patterns such as hearts and stars. But because of the blood poisoning, her mother can't knit much time every day. And it takes her several days to knit a sweater. Otherwise, her mother can really rely on this skill to make her family rich. At least life will be much better than before. However, Wu Fang should not have taken the detoxification pill. Yi Tian saw that her complexion did not improve. Seeing Yi Tian coming back, Wu Fang sighed and said, Lao Zhong said that running takeout is very profitable recently, so your father registered a takeout account. He went out to run takeout in the past few nights, and he didn't come back until 11 or 12 o'clock every time. Knowing that his father was really working outside, Yi Tian was speechless and helpless. He had given the money to his father, but his father just wouldn't listen. In fact, Yi Tian could understand that his father was worried that it was not easy for him to make money, so he wanted to share some of the pressure for him. Although he understood, Yi Tian still didn't want his father to be so tired. Yi Tian immediately took out his mobile phone and called his father. Tell him that he was back. There was something important to tell him. Let him come back immediately. Yi Tian knew that his father knew that he was not a joker. He would definitely come back immediately if he knew that he had something important to tell him. After hanging up the phone, Yi Tian looked at his mother, and then took out an egg-sized Qingyuan fruit from the space ring, stuffed it into his mother's mouth without saying anything, and said, Mom, eat this fruit. Wu Fang was stunned for a moment, because Yi Tian's speed was too fast and she didn't see clearly what fruit Yi Tian was holding in his hand, so she subconsciously took a bite. The fruit was not big to begin with, and Wu Fang bit off more than half of it in one bite. As the Qingyuan fruit flesh entered her mouth, a gentle vitality immediately surged into Wu Fang's body. Yi Tian immediately reminded his mother to practice the exercises to guide the energy of the vital energy to flow through the body and repair the injuries in the body. Wu Fang was also a practitioner before. After eating the Qingyuan fruit, she knew that the fruit her son gave her was extraordinary. She felt distressed for a while and listened to her son's words, not daring to waste the vital energy. She hurriedly practiced the exercises she practiced in her early years to guide the vital energy to flow through the body. Under the baptism of this gentle vital energy, Wu Fang immediately felt comfortable all over her body, as if the blood poison in her body had disappeared. Of course, this is impossible. The blood poison has been entangled with her flesh and blood, unless Baluodin is used. This is also the reason why Yi Tian did not take out the fist-sized Qingyuan fruit directly. Because if the blood poison is not completely eradicated, even if he repairs all the injuries in his mother's body now, the blood poison will corrode his mother's body over time and cause new injuries. So Yi Tian took out a smaller Qingyuan fruit to treat his mother's injuries first. He calculated that according to the energy of the vitality in this fruit, it can probably keep his mother from suffering from the torture of blood poison for half a month. A few days later is the task of guarding the medicine. He will get the Baluodin and use the fist-sized Qingyuan fruit to completely dissolve the blood poison and injuries in his mother's body. Let my mother never have to suffer from the invasion of blood poison in the future. Mom, eat the remaining Qingyuan fruit, otherwise the vitality inside will dissipate without the protection of the peel. Knowing that his mother was distressed about this fruit, Yi Tian immediately dispelled the idea that she might have in her mind to keep the remaining Qingyuan fruit. Wu Fang was helpless when she heard this, and she also knew that this was her son's intention. She nodded, ate the rest of the fruit, and continued to practice the technique to guide the Qingyuan qi to heal the injuries in her body. The more she healed, the more frightened she became. She also realized that the value of this fruit exceeded her imagination. I don't know how much Tian'er suffered to get such a precious fruit. I am really useless as a mother. Seeing that her mother was digesting the qi of the Qingyuan fruit, Yi Tian left the room without disturbing her. Coming to the living room, Yi Tian began to count the harvest tonight. One was the space bag of the man in black. The other was Chen Shan's space ring. Yi Tian opened the space bag of the man in black first. 200 cubic meters, there were quite a few things in it. 136 low-grade yuanxi, 11 medium-grade yuanxi. More than a dozen high-level pills. More than a dozen second-level alien beast corpses. 7 or 8 third-level alien beast corpses. 3 fourth-level alien beast corpses. There were also more than a dozen beast cores, a pile of skins, teeth and other materials cut from alien beasts. 3 weapons. 2 are mid-level, and 1 is high-level. The high-level one is an alloy long sword, which feels heavy in the hand. The sword body is also very sharp and tough, and it is a good long sword weapon. Yi Tian nodded with satisfaction and planned to give this long sword to his father. He remembered that the weapon his father used before was a long sword. Later, because he had to bear the burden of the family, he gave up practicing, and his long sword was sold to supplement the family income. I didn't expect that there is a high-level practice method, or a practice method suitable for my father to practice. Is this luck? Yi Tian found 3 books from a pile of things. 2 of them are practice insights. One is a high-level practice method called Vajra Gong. The vitality refined by this practice method is very suitable for tempering and nourishing the body. It can make the body continue to strengthen, just like a diamond, and it does not lose the elasticity and toughness of human skin. Dad has been overworked every day for many years and his body is exhausted. If he practices this practice method in the future, I don't have to worry about his health. And I have 2 Qingyuan fruits the size of eggs. I will give them to my dad when he comes back. They can help him recover from his injuries and enhance his cultivation level, so that he can break through to the warrior level in one fell swoop. Thinking of this, Yi Tian felt better. Then Yi Tian continued to count. The rest were some delicacies, barbecue supplies, and various seasonings. Then there were tents, clothes, and other things commonly used in the wild. After counting the things in the black-clothed man's space bag, Yi Tian opened Chen Shan's space ring again. Chen Shan's space ring has a large internal space of 200 cubic meters. This space ring alone is worth a lot of money. There are many good things in his space ring. 357 low-grade yuanxi. 31 medium-grade yuanxi. The total value is more than 6 million, which can recharge more than 60,000 wealth points. I don't know if it is used to reward subordinates, but there are many pills in his space ring. More than 300 primary level pills. More than 200 intermediate level pills. More than 100 high level pills. More than 20 general level pills. These pills alone are of extraordinary value. There are more than 10 weapons, but most of them are primary, intermediate and high-level weapons. In addition, there are 3 general-level weapons. One is a general-level broadsword. It should be the weapon used by Chen Shan himself, and it is well maintained. One is a general-level shield. It is black all over, with pits on the front, and it is obviously used in many battles. The last item is a general-level broadsword, similar to the style of the blood-drinking mad sword in Fengyan, very domineering. Seeing this domineering general-level broadsword, Yi Tian's eyes lit up. He just needed a handy knife weapon, but he didn't expect to have it now. What a pleasant surprise. Immediately, Yi Tian happily picked up the broadsword and carefully examined it. The total length of the blade is more than 4 feet, and the handle is nearly 1 foot. It can be held with 1 hand or 2 hands. It feels very good. I don't know what material this broadsword is made of. The whole body is shining with cold light, giving people a creepy feeling. The knife is also very heavy, no less than 300 kilograms. But this weight is nothing in front of Yi Tian. He can use it as if he were driving his arm. The blade is very sharp and tough, giving people a feeling that it can easily tear open the body of the beast general. Huo huo. Yi Tian danced a few times in the living room and felt very good. Immediately, he happily put the broadsword into the space ring, intending to use it as his own weapon. Seeing that the material of the black shield was also very good, Yi Tian also put it into the space ring and kept it for his own use. There are still many skills and martial arts in Chen Shan's space ring, but most of them are elementary and intermediate. There are only 7 high-level skills and martial arts. There are only 2 general level ones. The covers of these skills and martial arts are printed with the 4 big words, exclusive for the Wu family. It can be seen that these skills and martial arts are all used for rewards within the Wu family. It's a pity that there is no Chen Shan's practice method. The skills he practices are at least the top-grade king-level skills, which are very valuable. Yi Tian sighed with regret when he didn't find the skills that Chen Shan practiced. Before, he actually wanted Chen Shan to memorize the skills he practiced. But at that time, Chen Shan's condition was very poor and he didn't have enough energy to memorize the skills. It also made Yi Tian miss the top-grade king-level skills. Every failure is a lesson learned. Never kill the enemy before you have drained them dry. Yi Tian suddenly realized this. In addition to these things, there are many other things in Chen Shan's space ring, such as books on cultivation insights, miscellaneous notes, introduction to formations, introduction to alchemy, introduction to refining, etc. A pile of primary and intermediate formation plates, formation flags, alchemy furnaces and refining furnaces, etc. Hundreds of beast cores of various levels. A large number of delicacies and other items. Many intelligence books attracted Yi Tian's attention. However, many of these intelligence are outdated. Yi Tian searched for a while, then picked up the latest intelligence book and flipped through it. This intelligence book is about 1 centimeter thick, the size of A5 paper, and records more than a dozen intelligence information. On March 1, 3324, Yao Tijun of Thunder Martial Arts Hall broke through to the level 3 Martial King realm. On March 2, 3324, the deputy commander of the City Defense Army, the level 5 Martial King Xu Mingchuan, was listening to music in the brothel and was beaten by his granddaughter, who threatened that if Xu Mingchuan did this again in the future, he would never return to the City Defense Army. On April 11, 3324, the Cave of the Warriors in the Fallen Leaf Forest was born, and more than 10 people died in the City Defense Army. It is currently under the control of the 3rd Young Master. On April 12, 3324, the 9th level beast King Silverback Violent Bear in the depths of the Red Maple Forest got a king-level top-grade yuan medicine from somewhere, and his cultivation broke through to the 10th level Beast King realm, becoming the 2nd alien beast overlord in the Red Maple Forest. On April 12, 3324. Time. The information in the book involved a very high level, allowing Yi Tian to learn a lot of information he didn't know before. Just like Xu Mingchuan, the deputy commander of the City Defense Army. He is the master and father-in-law of Commander Fang, and is famous in Ancheng City. Yi Tian didn't expect that he was actually a person who was nostalgic for places like brothels. What a person of temperament. But I can't go to a place like a brothel. Even if he really goes, he will listen to some songs. He will never take the initiative to do anything else. Yi Tian immediately put all the information books into the space ring, planning to read them when he is bored. Maybe he can know more interesting things that he doesn't know. Killing Chen Shan is really a wave of fat. After counting the things in Chen Shan's space ring, Yi Tian was very happy. He could get a lot of wealth points again this time. Yi Tian only left 100 low-grade yuanxi, intending to wait for his father to come back for him to practice. Yi Tian asked the system to recharge the remaining yuanxi and beast cores. A total of 113,234 wealth points were obtained. Seeing that his wealth value had exceeded 150,000, Yi Tian asked the system to improve his strength. Ding! Consume 150,000 wealth points, and the host's cultivation level will be upgraded to level 3 generals. Feeling the increased strength in his body, Yi Tian smiled slightly. He immediately put away all the spoils, leaned on the sofa and read the intelligence book, and chuckled from time to time. Every chuckle involved gossip about a big man. That's it. About a quarter of an hour later, Yi Dahai, wearing a yellow robe, came back. As soon as he came back, he asked Yi Tian if he had anything important to tell him, with an anxious and worried expression on his face. Seeing his father come back, Yi Tian brought his father to his mother. In front of his parents, Yi Tian told them that he wanted them to live in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. Fearing that his parents would worry, Yi Tian did not mention the real reason for letting them live in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. He just said that it was suitable for cultivation there, and he planned to let them practice there in the future and return to the road of martial arts. After knowing Yi Tian's plan, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang were very surprised. They knew their physical condition best, and they were no longer suitable for practicing martial arts. But Yi Dahai and Wu Fang saw that their son was worried about them, so he wanted them to return to the martial arts to strengthen their physical fitness and prolong their life. Seeing the concerns in his parents' hearts, Yi Tian smiled slightly. He directly took out 160 pieces of low-grade yuanxi, vajra gong, and 2 qingyuan fruits. Yi Tian said, "Don't worry, Dad and Mom, since I said that I would let you embark on the road of martial arts again, I naturally have the confidence to let you practice. Dad, these 2 are qingyuan fruits, which contain rich qingyuan yuanqi, which can repair the hidden injuries and losses of your body due to overload work over the years. In addition to healing, qingyuan qi can also greatly improve your cultivation. Coupled with this, vajra gong, that can temper and nourish the body, you can become a warrior in a short time. When you practice for a long time, your body will get better and better. So you don't have to worry about not being able to practice. As for the effect of qingyuan fruit, just ask Mom." After that, Yi Tian looked at his mother and said, "Mom, I have found a solution to the blood poison and injuries in your body, and I will be able to completely cure you soon. When the time comes, I will find you a suitable practice method, and you will be able to practice. Mom, you don't have to worry about your legs. When your son is admitted to Longdu Martial Arts University, I will find a way to get you a life-saving pill to eat, so that your legs will be reborn and your body will be reborn. By then, you will not only be able to walk like a normal person, but your cultivation qualifications will also be improved by several levels, and your cultivation will advance by leaps and bounds. It is estimated that it will not be a problem to reach the Martial King realm in the future. So, Mom and Dad, just relax." Yi Tian picked up the water on the table and drank it. While moistening his throat, it also gave his parents time to digest. Listening to Yi Tian's words, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang's mouths, which were originally closed, opened unconsciously, and then opened wider and wider. The expressions on their faces were constantly changing. From the initial worry and calmness to the surprise, and now the shock and disbelief that are almost solidified. They couldn't calm down for a long time. They also wanted to pinch themselves to confirm whether they were dreaming. When Wu Fang heard her son say that he wanted to be admitted to Longdu Martial Arts University and make her a vitality pill to regenerate her broken legs, her brain was short-circuited. Enroll in Longdu Martial Arts University. Get a vitality pill. Is this easy? My God, you are not dreaming, are you? It's not that Wu Fang doesn't believe in her son's ability, but she knows the difficulty of being admitted to Longdu Martial Arts University. Anchang City has tens of thousands of freshmen every year. It is amazing to have one student who can be admitted to Longdu Martial Arts University in a year. There is only 1 month left before the martial arts exam, and her son is only at the level of 4 martial artist. But to be admitted to Longdu Martial Arts University, you must at least have the cultivation of martial arts master. How could her son improve his cultivation to the martial arts master level in such a short time? Even if her son was lucky enough to be admitted to Longdu Martial Arts University, it is so easy to get the holy level top grade elixir such as the life-making pill. Although I thought so in my heart. However, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang were also surprised by the things Yi Tian took out. Not to mention the low-grade yuanxi worth 1.6 million, even the qingyuan fruit is a rare good thing. After a while, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang came back to their senses. Wu Fang comforted, "Tianer, Mom knows that you are very filial, and it is also for the good of your parents. But don't be too anxious, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. But Tianer, you are so ambitious, Mom believes you can get into Longdu Martial Arts University." Yi Dahai also nodded in agreement, and asked Yi Tian to take these things back and use them for his own practice, and not to worry about them. Seeing this, Yi Tian understood his father, especially his mother, although they said that they believed he could get into Longdu Martial Arts University, but how much of this belief was true was another matter. Moreover, his mother never mentioned the matter of the life-making pill. It was obvious that she did not think she had the ability to get this level of pill. She also did not want to put pressure on herself. But Dad and Mom, son, I really want to show you all my strength, but I am afraid of scaring you. Yi Tian felt helpless. Both his parents were injured, and they were ordinary people with little experience. They had never seen such a young warrior. If they knew that he had jumped from the warrior realm to the general realm in just a few days, they would probably be scared to death. Even if they were not scared to death, something bad would happen, which was not what Yi Tian wanted to see. So he could only hide his true cultivation. But Yi Tian also knew that he had to show his parents some strength and potential. Otherwise, they would still stick to their previous ideas and concepts. They would not use the cultivation resources he gave them to cultivate. Mom and Dad, I know you can't completely believe what you said to me. To be honest, I have gained a lot of opportunities in the past few days of training outside, and my strength has improved by leaps and bounds. If you don't believe me, just watch it for yourself. After saying that, a strong breath of the 5th level martial artist realm burst out from Yi Tian's body. This breath was like a gust of wind, blowing the tables and chairs in the room to pieces and the wardrobe roaring. However, this breath was also controlled by Yi Tian and did not blow towards his parents. Seeing Yi Tian's cultivation, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang were stunned. Level 5 martial artist. Tianer, you actually have the cultivation of a level 5 martial artist. Weren't you a level 4 martial artist before? Wu Fang was so shocked that the sweater in her hand fell on the bed, her eyes widened, and her breathing became rapid. She remembered that her son was only a level 4 martial artist a few days ago. But it has only been a few days. How did her son become a master of the level 5 martial artist? This cultivation is the first-class existence among all the high school students in Ancheng City. Yi Dahai's situation is not much better than Wu Fang. He opened his mouth wide, stretched his head, and stared at Yi Tian with a pair of wide eyes. His eyes were full of disbelief. Mom and Dad, do you believe what I said now? Yi Tian retracted his breath and felt very comfortable when he saw his parents stunned by his cultivation. Let you not believe me? Are you dumbfounded now? After hearing Yi Tian's voice, the two came back to their senses and nodded together. I believe. I believe it. Although they said so, it was obvious that they had not completely recovered from the shock that Yi Tian brought them, and their words became stammering. After a while, the two came back to their senses and asked Yi Tian why his cultivation had improved so quickly. There was worry between the lines, fearing that Yi Tian had practiced some magic skills that consumed his potential in order to improve his strength as quickly as possible. Yi Tian had to explain that he had a special talent and the help of that powerful being, which made him improve so quickly. He also released his pure vitality for them to see, which completely dispelled their worries. Yi Tian was also glad that he did not show all his cultivation, otherwise he would not be able to explain it. Then Yi Tian took out the space bag for his parents. The long sword weapon for his father. With the previous preparation. Although the two were also surprised and shocked when they saw these things this time, they were soon conquered by the charm of the space bag. They kept putting things in and taking them out of the room, having a lot of fun. Yi Dahai then happily waved the high-level weapon sword that Yi Tian gave him. He couldn't control the smile on his face. Yi Dahai was extremely happy. I have worked hard for half my life and never thought that I would have a weapon of this level one day. It's really worth my life. But I still have to thank my good son. I didn't expect that my good son has grown to this point. Yi Dahai looked at Yi Tian from time to time, his eyes full of relief and satisfaction. His son is really amazing. Yi Tian told his father to use a Qingyuan fruit to recover the hidden injuries and losses in his body first and then practice the Vajra Kung Fu successfully. After successfully practicing this skill, he will use the last Qingyuan fruit to break through the realm. After saying this, Yi Tian returned to his room. He had experienced many battles during this period. Although he had the cultivation of a level 3 general. But his spirit was very tired. However, Before going to bed, Yi Tian still contacted Yao Ruowu. Tell her that he wanted his parents to live in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. Yi Tian thought Yao Ruowu would consider it, but he didn't expect Yao Ruowu to agree at once. He also asked what kind of house and furniture his parents liked so that they could prepare them in advance. Listening to the other party's very happy and even a little excited voice, Yi Tian wondered if he had heard it wrong. Or was Yao Ruowu his long-lost sister? Yi Tian immediately expressed his gratitude. He also asked Yao Ruowu not to be so troublesome, and told her that his parents could live in his own house. Yao Ruowu heard this and said that the people living there were all young people, and it was not appropriate for uncles and aunts to live there. She also told Yi Tian not to ask, she would take care of the house. Yi Tian had no choice but to nod and agree. In his heart, he remembered Yao Ruowu's favor. He would find a chance to pay her back in the future. The next day, Yi Tian slept until noon before waking up. He slept very well this time, and after waking up, he was full of energy and felt very comfortable. After eating something simple, Yi Tian told his parents that he was leaving. Although he told his parents last night that he was moving out today. But when it was time to leave, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang were still reluctant. They carefully put everything they could take away from home into the space bag before leaving with Yi Tian. At this time, a beautiful figure stood quietly at the door of the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. This figure was Yao Ruowu. She was wearing a purple long dress today, with a tall and slender figure, curvy curves, white skin, and a beautiful face. Her black hair was like a waterfall and was blown up in the breeze. She looked into the distance from time to time, as if waiting for someone. This scene attracted the attention of many students. I don't understand who this young lady is waiting for. She changed her usual calm and easygoing attitude when encountering anything, but today she seemed a little nervous and eager. On a tall building in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall, Yao Tijun looked at his niece standing at the door waiting for someone, and then turned to look at his eldest brother who was handling official business and said, Ruowu has been waiting for Yi Tian's family for a whole morning, aren't you worried at all? Yao Jinlei looked up at his younger brother standing by the window and asked in confusion. What am I worried about? Isn't it just waiting for a whole morning? She is a military commander and there will be no problem standing there for several days and nights. After saying that, he showed a puzzled expression on his face and said, Second brother, you said Ruowu is usually so smart, why didn't she call to ask Yi Tian when he would bring his parents over? She was just waiting there blindly, which is too stupid. She is very similar to me in other aspects, but not like me at all in this aspect. Hearing his elder brother suddenly say such words, Yao Tijun's mouth kept twitching. He couldn't figure out how his elder brother, who looked so stupid, had managed to win over his elder sister-in-law. Forget it, if I can't figure it out, I won't think about it anymore. When the boys' parents arrive, I have to go meet them and get to know them. Yao Tijun thought so in his heart. But if others knew that the second in command of the Thunder Martial Arts School was thinking about getting familiar with two ordinary people at this time, I guess their jaws would drop to the ground. Yao Jinlei didn't know if he saw Yao Tijun's thoughts, and said, Second brother, please inform Ruowu to welcome Yi Tian's parents tonight. Soon, the car that Yi Tian and his parents took arrived. After getting off the car, Yi Tian saw Yao Ruowu waiting at the door with a smile on her face, and walked towards them quickly. Ruowu, I can take my parents in by myself, why are you waiting for me here? Are you anxious? Yi Tian said unkindly. He didn't expect Yao Ruowu to wait for his family here. So he didn't tell Yao Ruowu when his family would arrive, and it was estimated that Yao Ruowu had been waiting for a long time. Yao Ruowu smiled and shook her head to indicate that she didn't wait for long. Seeing this, Yi Tian introduced the three people. When Wu Fang and Yi Dahai saw Yao Ruowu, they originally thought that Yao Ruowu was Yi Tian's friend in Lei Ting Martial Arts Hall. After the introduction, they learned that Yao Ruowu was the eldest daughter of Lei Ting Martial Arts Hall. They were very surprised. They didn't understand why their son had such a good relationship with the eldest daughter of Lei Ting Martial Arts Hall. Yao Ruowu greeted Yi Tian's parents very enthusiastically. Then he took the three of them to a villa with a good location. Yi Tian remembered that this was where the family members of Lei Ting Martial Arts Hall lived. The villa where Yao Ruowu lived was next to this villa. Ruowu, You don't want my parents to live here, do you? Yi Tian asked in surprise. He thought that Yao Ruowu would arrange an ordinary elevator apartment for his parents. He never thought that Yao Ruowu would arrange his parents here. Yes, Yao Ruowu nodded, and then said, the rest of the martial arts hall is full of people, and this place is just empty, so uncle and aunt can live here. And I happen to live next door, so it will be very convenient for uncle and aunt to find me if they have anything in the future. Yi Tian, right? Yao Ruowu smiled sweetly. As she spoke, a cunning look flashed in the depths of her eyes, but it was just a flash and no one noticed it. Seeing Yao Ruowu speaking the truth, Yi Tian opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. The Thunder Martial Arts School is so big, there are so many houses. He didn't believe that other places were full of people, and the villa next to Ruowu's villa was empty. Forget it, let her arrange it, and this is the core area of the Thunder Martial Arts School, and it is safer for my parents to live here. As for Ruowu's friendship, I just remember it. Yi Tian is not a fool, and naturally saw Yao Ruowu's thoughts. He remembered this in his heart, nodded and agreed, saying, okay, Ruowu will follow your arrangement. Well, okay, Yi Tian, I will definitely make my uncle and aunt live here happily. Seeing that Yi Tian agreed to let his parents live next door to him, Yao Ruowu was very happy. She had a sweet smile on her face, and with her stunning beauty, she looked so beautiful. Then Yao Ruowu told Yi Tian that his father and second uncle had prepared a dinner for his parents. Yi Tian nodded and agreed to this. Since they were all living here, he naturally had to follow the host's wishes. However, Yi Tian also understood that the two kings wanted to express their goodwill to him by paying attention to his parents. And at this moment, after listening to the conversation between the two, Yi Dahai and Wu Fang felt as if an 18-magnitude earthquake had occurred in their hearts. They didn't understand what their son's status was in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall, and the two martial kings of the Thunder Martial Arts Hall paid so much attention to them. They didn't ask too much about Yao Ruowu being here. But they felt very proud. The villa is very big, with many rooms and luxurious decorations. Yi Dahai and Wu Fang said that they had never lived in such a good room, and they couldn't control the joy on their faces. Seeing that they were satisfied, Yi Tian was relieved. After arranging for his parents, Yi Tian and Yao Ruowu left here. On the way, Yi Tian asked Yao Ruowu about the task of guarding the medicine. Last time, Yao Ruowu told him that the task of guarding the medicine would start in a week. Tomorrow is the last time, Yao Ruowu said. These days, Yi Tian either hunts exotic beasts and fights for treasures in the wild, or handles other things in the city. He doesn't know the details of the task of guarding the medicine. Yi Tian can of course check on the internal network of the Thunder Martial Arts Hall to get the information he wants to know. But with a beautiful woman next to him, he will naturally not go far away. Seeing Yi Tian asking about this matter, Yao Ruowu paused, and then she stopped and turned to look at Yi Tian. Yi Tian also stopped and turned to look at her. Ruowu, what's wrong with you? Seeing that Yao Ruowu looked a little wrong, Yi Tian asked in confusion. In his heart, he was worried about whether there was any change in the medicine guarding mission. Yao Ruowu's beautiful black eyes were motionless looking at Yi Tian, but there was a deep worry between her beautiful eyebrows. She paused for a moment before speaking, and said in a gentle voice. Yi Tian, in fact, even if you don't ask me, I will tell you about the medicine guarding mission. Originally, my father arranged to start the medicine guarding mission tomorrow, but the intelligence personnel there sent the latest news not long ago. The news said that for some reason, the number of strange beasts that appeared in the forest outside the Yuan medicine base this time is more than 3 times that of the past. Among them, there are many powerful 4th-level strange beasts and several beast generals, which is something that has never happened before. So my father decided to postpone the medicine guarding mission to the day after tomorrow, and recruit more people in the martial arts hall within these 2 days. Although there will be more people participating in the medicine guarding mission this time than in the past, compared with the number of strange beasts that has increased several times, there are still not enough people. So this medicine guarding mission is also more dangerous than in the past. Yi Tian, so I hope you can reconsider whether to participate. Yao Ruowu knew the reason why Yi Tian participated in the medicine guarding mission. After saying the last sentence, she was worried that Yi Tian would directly reject her, and hurriedly added, Yi Tian, I know you are worried about Auntie's health, and I have also seen Auntie's physical condition. But don't worry, I will definitely find a way to buy high-level Buluodin from other places to get rid of Auntie's blood poison. Even if I can't buy Buluodin from other places in a short time, our Thunder Martial Arts Hall also has a kind of medicine called Qingyuandin for healing and improving cultivation, which can prevent Auntie from suffering from blood poison in a short time. So I still hope you can seriously consider it. Yao Ruowu looked at Yi Tian with a nervous look after she finished speaking. She was very afraid that Yi Tian would still participate in this medicine guarding mission. She didn't stop Yi Tian from participating in the medicine guarding mission before because although the medicine guarding mission in previous years was dangerous, the death and injury rate of martial arts practitioners was still very low. Moreover, Yi Tian practiced the thunder violent step of the king rank, and his speed was comparable to some low-level martial arts practitioners, so he could survive more easily in the medicine guarding mission. As for whether Yi Tian could win the first prize, Yao Ruowu didn't care. If she really had to give a definite answer, she naturally didn't believe it. Yao Ruowu admitted that Yi Tian was very powerful and could fight across levels. But Yi Tian was only a level 2 martial artist after all. There were many powerful martial artists among the practitioners who participated in the medicine guarding mission. How could Yi Tian, who was a martial artist, get the first prize from them? So she didn't have much hope that Yi Tian would get the first prize. She just wanted to treat the medicine guarding mission as a training for Yi Tian. But after knowing the importance of Buluodin to Yi Tian, Yao Ruowu has been buying high-level Buluodin these days. She planned to give it to Yi Tian after the medicine guarding mission was over, giving Yi Tian a surprise. This way, Yi Tian could be trained and his needs could be met, which was a double harvest. But Yao Ruowu never thought that she had been looking for almost a week and still couldn't find a high-level Buluodin that met the requirements. Yesterday, when she learned that the number of exotic beasts outside the Yuanyao base suddenly increased several times, her heart suddenly became worse. The several times more exotic beasts undoubtedly made this medicine guarding mission more dangerous. In the past 2 days, the Martial Arts Hall has repeatedly issued tasks to recruit people in the Genius Pavilion and the Wuzong Pavilion, but not many practitioners responded. This also increased Yao Ruowu's worries, and she didn't want Yi Tian to participate. If this medicine guarding mission hadn't suddenly become so dangerous, she would never stop Yi Tian. Yao Ruowu knew that the road to becoming a strong man was full of thunder and snow, and it couldn't be accomplished overnight. But she didn't know when she became more and more worried about Yi Tian's safety. She didn't want and couldn't see him get into trouble. She just hoped that Yi Tian would be fine all the time. After listening to Yao Ruowu's words, the tension and worry that had originally arisen in Yi Tian's heart turned directly into clouds and mist and dissipated completely. Seeing Yao Ruowu's worried look, he thought that Buluodin was gone, or that he was not needed for the medicine guarding mission. Yi Tian didn't expect that it was just that there were more strange beasts outside the Yuanyao base, which made Yao Ruowu so nervous. That's it, my beautiful Ruowu, you probably don't know that I am a strange beast killer. I am not afraid of too many beasts, but I am afraid of not having any to kill. The more beasts there are, the more excited I am, okay. As for the increasing number of 4th-level beasts and beast generals, sorry, this will not scare me, but will only make me more excited. However, seeing that Yao Ruowu was very worried about him, Yi Tian felt a warm current in his heart. He subconsciously grabbed the soft and boneless hands of the eldest lady of the Thunder Martial Arts School and said solemnly, Ruowu, thank you for caring about me so much. But don't worry, what you said is not dangerous to me at all. I can assure you that I will come back safely, and I have taken the first prize, so you don't need to buy high-level Buluodin from other places. And please believe me, I, Yi Tian, can do what I say. Yi Tian's voice was not loud but sonorous and powerful, full of heroism and strong self-confidence, as unshakable as a rock. His words also broke into Yao Ruowu's ears word by word, making her whole body startled. Yao Ruowu stared at Yi Tian in a daze, with a look of surprise on her face. She didn't know where Yi Tian got the confidence to say such a thing. But for some reason, when she heard Yi Tian ask her to believe him, she was startled and actually believed what Yi Tian said. Maybe it's because I've seen miracles that are hard to happen to others on Yi many times during this period. Yao Ruowu thought that she was shocked by Yi handsome appearance when she first met him. Then she subconsciously asked the staff to give Yi a discount. Although she used Fang Hanyu's reason to know Yi at that time, it was because Yi was the most handsome man she had seen in all these years. Later, when she saw Yi for the second time in Wanbao building, Yao Ruowu remembered that she was surprised by Yi cultivation. From Fang Hanyu, she knew that Yi had ordinary talent and only a level 2 martial arts apprentice. But when she saw that Yi was a level 3 martial arts master, she admitted that she was really surprised. She repeatedly asked herself in her heart, is Yi really the boy with ordinary talent and who can't even get into a junior college martial arts academy in the future, as her best friend Fang Hanyu said? Because Fang Hanyu often talked about Yi in front of her. She also knew Yi family background very well. It can be said to be very poor. Yi family not only could not provide him with any training resources, but was also a burden to him. Yao Ruowu knew that Yi living expenses were earned by working part-time on weekends. The martial arts he practiced were also the most ordinary. But such a person was actually a level 3 martial artist. Yao Ruowu remembered that she realized at that time that the waste and second-class scum in the mouth of the second-class middle school student was not a waste but a genius. A genius who had not yet emerged and had not been discovered. So when she learned that Yi wanted to buy a high-level martial arts, she had the idea of recruiting Yi into her martial arts hall. Later, she made a bet with her second uncle on how long it would take Yi to practice the Thunder King Kung Fu. She believed in Yi very much. She set a time that shocked her second uncle. In fact, she said this time not only because she had great trust in Yi but also because she had great expectations for Yi She thought the time she said was very fast. Only a genius among geniuses can do it. But Yi shocked her again. What Yao Ruowu couldn't believe was that Yi actually spent only half an hour to cultivate the Thunder King art. You know, she also spent an hour and a half to cultivate this king-level top-grade martial arts. From that moment on, Yao Ruowu knew that Yi comprehension was amazing and far exceeded her own. Yao Ruowu also knew that such a genius was destined to become a very dazzling star in Longguo and even the whole world in the future. However, what shocked her the most was seeing Yi fight against Wu Ming, a genius who was 3 small realms higher than him. He displayed the Thunder Slashing Sword Method and Thunder Rage Step, 2 king-level top-grade martial arts. At that time, Yao Ruowu realized that Yi did not cultivate the Thunder King art in half an hour. Instead, he cultivated these 2 king-level top-grade martial arts while cultivating the Thunder King art. It only took half an hour in total. After thinking about this, Yao Ruowu realized that Yi talent was much more terrible than she had imagined. She didn't even have the qualifications to compare with Yi When she got this result, Yao Ruowu remembered that she was shocked, horrified, and couldn't believe it. But soon this shocking emotion turned into happiness for Yi Yi is so handsome, so he should have amazing potential for martial arts practice. Let's talk about it again. Yao Ruowu didn't know when she had Yi in her mind. She began to worry about Yi She would miss him every day when she couldn't see him. So when she learned that this medicine guarding mission was much more dangerous than in previous years, the worry brought by her emotions made her not want Yi to participate. But at this moment, looking at Yi swearing, unwavering, full of infinite confidence and heroism, her heart was shaken again, and all the worries and uneasiness in her heart were shattered. Maybe this man who often creates miracles can really come back safely. Yao Ruowu stared at Yi in a daze, and her worried eyes were quickly replaced by trust. Then they became very gentle. Yao Ruowu seemed to feel the warmth and strong power in her hands. She looked down. The next second, the blood rushed up. Yao Ruowu's fair and beautiful face was instantly stained with a layer of hot red clouds. Yao Ruowu hurriedly lowered her head in shame, turned her head to the side, and dared not look at Yi Seeing this, Yi was stunned for a moment, not understanding what was going on. But when he saw the pair of soft and boneless jade hands tightly held in his hands, he immediately understood the reason. He let go of his hands very embarrassedly. and then scratched the back of his head and said embarrassedly, "Ruowu, sorry, just now I." Yi Tian wanted to explain, but she couldn't think of a reason to explain. Fortunately, the gentle and kind Yao Ruowu said in time, "No, it's okay, Yi Tian, I don't blame you." Yao Ruowu's voice was very low, and she stuttered when she spoke, and her face became redder and redder. Seeing this, Yi Tian hurriedly changed the subject. He said that the weather today was really good and the flowers in the garden were really beautiful. He made a few more jokes to dilute the previous awkward and ambiguous atmosphere. "Yi Tian, I believe you, but can I know your cultivation?" At this time, Yao Ruowu blinked her black eyes and looked at Yi Tian and asked. Seeing Yi Tian so confident, she chose to believe what Yi Tian said. But after reason-diluted emotion, she still had some worries in her heart. Looking at Yao Ruowu's beautiful eyes, Yi Tian did not answer directly. He smiled mysteriously and said, "Ruowu, you will know my cultivation level after the medicine guarding mission begins. Please allow me to keep a secret now. I still say that I will not only return safely from this medicine guarding mission, but also get the Buluodin." Yi Tian still has this confidence. He did not say that he has the combat power comparable to that of a level 10 general. Just moving the holy ring can make him invincible. It is impossible that a level 10 beast saint will emerge in a small medicine guarding mission. Seeing that Yi Tian wanted to keep it secret, Yao Ruowu became even more curious. But she is not a person who breaks the casserole to get to the bottom of things. She smiled and nodded with strong expectations. "Okay, then I will wait and see. I believe your strength will definitely improve a lot in the next few days. Maybe you have reached the level of a 5th or 6th martial artist, or even the level of a 7th or 8th martial artist." Yao Ruowu thought so in her heart. She believed that with Yi Tian's talent, he could achieve multiple small realms in such a short time. As for higher levels, Yao Ruowu didn't dare to think about it. Even if Yi Tian had a terrifying talent. But it was very difficult to improve his cultivation to a higher level in such a short time. Unless Yi Tian got a great opportunity, it would be possible. Chapter 71. But I hope you can accept these two things. It's my gift to you. After saying that, Yao Ruowu said again, but her words were a little hesitant. Seeing that Yi Tian did not answer her directly, but seeing Yi Tian's extremely confident look, Yao Ruowu's worries were reduced a lot. However, she guessed from the beginning that she might not be able to persuade Yi Tian. So she prepared a backup plan for Yi Tian. It was just when she mentioned the word, gift. Yao Ruowu's dark and clear eyes did not dare to look at Yi Tian. She lowered her head and took out 2 golden boxes from the space ring. One box was very long. One box was very wide. "Are they all for me? Ruowu, what's inside?" Seeing the 2 boxes, Yi Tian asked curiously. "You will know if you open them, but I don't know if you like them." Hearing Yi Tian's question, Yao Ruowu replied with some concern. Yi Tian looked at her worried and nervous look, smiled and said, "No matter what Ruowu gave me, I will like it very much." Yao Ruowu was stunned for a moment when she heard Yi Tian's ambiguous words. But her heart was as sweet as honey. After she came to her senses, her eyes turned and she took the opportunity to speak, not giving Yi Tian a chance to refuse. "Since you said so, you must accept these 2 things and cannot refuse." Hearing Yao Ruowu's words, Yi Tian looked at her. He quickly thought that the things Yao Ruowu gave him might be very valuable, otherwise she would not say so. Yi Tian wanted to refuse politely, but seeing Yao Ruowu's deep feelings and worried that she would not accept them, she was nervous and worried, and he couldn't bear it. Yi Tian nodded happily and agreed, saying, "Okay, Ruowu, I will accept the things you gave me." Yi Tian reminded himself in his heart, "No matter what precious things Ruowu gave me, I will double my return to her in the future." Hearing Yi Tian's promise, Yao Ruowu was relieved. Don't mention how happy she was in her heart. A smile that dimmed the sun also bloomed on her face. Very beautiful. Yi Tian squatted down and opened 2 golden boxes with curiosity. In the wide box was a set of purple metal armor. Connected together, the noble purple light was dazzling, and it was obvious that it was not a simple thing. Yi Tian picked up the armor and injected a stream of energy into it. Soon he got a message in his mind. Purple Thunder Armor. King level mid-grade. Yi Tian immediately turned his head to look at Yao Ruowu and opened his mouth. He guessed that the thing Yao Ruowu gave him would be very precious. But he didn't expect that the thing Yao Ruowu gave him was actually a king-level mid-grade defensive armor. This thing is several times more expensive than the king's soldiers of the same level. It is also a treasure that is priceless in Ancheng City. But Yao Ruowu gave it to him. Yi Tian, you said you would accept it, you can't regret it. Seeing Yi Tian's unbelievable look, Yao Ruowu said with a smile. A pair of beautiful eyes flashed with cunning eyes. Okay, I'll take it. I'll definitely give you a set of high-level armor that suits you in the future. Yi Tian smiled helplessly, always feeling that he was suspected of being a gigolo by saying this. His heart moved. The purple thunder armor immediately turned into a purple light and sank into his dantian. After refining, this level of armor can be directly covered on the body surface, with strong defense and can save lives at critical moments. Therefore, high-level armor is very popular among practitioners. Then Yi Tian looked at the items in another box. It was a purple long sword, similar in style to the Tang sword, and a little over 4 feet long. The handle was more than 20 centimeters long, and it could be held with one hand or with both hands. The sword was also very heavy, no less than 500 kilograms. I don't know what metal this long sword is made of. It is purple all over, and there are array runes with various functions inside. This is also a king-level mid-grade weapon. Purple Thunder Sword. It looks like it is matched with the Purple Thunder armor. Yi Tian put the Purple Thunder Sword into his dantian without saying much. He originally had a broadsword from Chen Shan's space ring, and he was no longer short of a handy sword. But he didn't expect Yao Ruowu to give him a king-level mid-grade long sword. This knife is also of Thunder attribute, and it can be used with his Thunder attribute Vitality and Thunder attribute Swordsmanship. It can achieve the effect of 1+1+1 greater than 3. This knife is naturally very suitable for him. Yi Tian knew that there was no need to say more if he was touched. He understood Yao Ruowu's feelings for him. Yi Tian immediately walked to Yao Ruowu without thinking, boldly grabbed her pair of white jade hands, stared at each other motionlessly, and leaned close to her. Yao Ruowu was stunned by Yi Tian's sudden move. It was the first time that a man of the opposite gender was so close to her, and she seemed at a loss. However, she soon realized what Yi Tian meant, and suddenly felt happy in her heart. She immediately raised her head and looked at Yi Tian boldly. The light in her eyes also changed from shyness at the beginning to tenderness and sweetness. Ruowu, I like this set of armor and Purple Thunder knife very much, thank you. But I will also get you a set of armor and weapons suitable for you in the future, and you can't refuse me then. Yi Tian smiled gently, his tone was calm and firm. Yes, okay. Hearing Yi Tian's promise to her, Yao Ruowu's tall body was stunned for a moment, and then she agreed with certainty and joy. Plop, plop, the two of them were so close that they could almost touch each other's bodies. Unconsciously, their heartbeats accelerated, and the atmosphere suddenly became charming. Brother, look at how bold Yi Tian is. He actually grabbed Ruowu's hand and didn't let go, and he was so close to her. Don't you care about it? In the office of the high-rise building, Yao Tijun saw this scene on the path in the distance and immediately complained to Yao Jinlei. Hearing his words, Yao Jinlei raised his head and saw the two people who were almost sticking together through the window. He was stunned for a moment, and seemed very surprised. Then he quickly asked Yao Tijun puzzledly, what's there to care about? Men should get married when they are old enough, and women should get married when they are old enough. If they like each other, I will naturally help them. Besides, Ruowu has no objection, why should I, as a father, stop it? Seeing his elder brother's attitude, Yao Tijun said anxiously, brother, haven't you always been a daughter slave? Now your little Ruowu is about to be kidnapped, and you don't care. Are you still a daughter slave? In his heart, Yao Tijun wanted to cry but had no tears. What should I do if Ruowu takes Yi Tian away so quickly? I can't wait a few more years, right? By then, the opportunity will be gone. But he couldn't let his daughter develop a relationship with Yi Tian at this age, right? Although it was legally feasible. But he always felt that his daughter was still a little bit inferior to Ruowu, and it would be difficult to win Yi Tian. So he wanted to wait. But he didn't expect that the relationship between Yi Tian and his niece would develop so quickly. As for letting his daughter and his niece marry the same man, Yao Tijun didn't care at all. In this era, the strong are respected. Men with unlimited potential are naturally extremely attractive. I don't know how many major forces are willing to marry their daughters to such a potential seed. Especially Yi Tian has no family power behind him. The purpose of doing this is naturally to win over the other party. And it is also feasible in the law of the martial arts era. Let's not talk about the distant past, just say that Yao Tijun has 2 women. Yao Jinlei looked at his chest and did feel a little cold. But he didn't care. Yao Jinlei said indifferently, if she kidnapped, I'll ask your sister-in-law to add another piece of clothing for me. And I believe Ruowu, since she chose Yi Tian, I believe she has considered it carefully. In addition, I also believe in Yi Tian. In addition to being as handsome as me, this kid is filial to his parents, respects elders, and has the potential to be an emperor. He has a bright future. Of course I have no objection to him and Ruowu being together. I fully support it. But this kid is really fussy. He didn't even get close to her even at this time. I'm worried about him. It seems that there is no such thing as pure gold and no perfect person. Although Yi Tian is good in everything, he is far from being comparable to me in this aspect. I thought about how I rushed to your sister-in-law the second time I saw her. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't continue, Yao Jinlei became anxious. He immediately talked freely. He excitedly recalled the scene when he was chasing his wife, and he became more and more excited as he talked. Yao Tijun, who was listening to his elder brother's words by the window, was unconsciously stunned. Now he finally knew how his iron fool elder brother chased his sister-in-law. It's really a fool's blessing. This side, Yi Tian turned his head to look at the tall building, and saw a figure flashing by the window. Yao Ruowu's face flushed when she saw the window. She quickly let go of Yi Tian's hand and said, that's my father's office, and my second uncle likes to stay there. I'm afraid they saw us just now. Is that so? But it seems that your father and second uncle have no other reaction. Do they agree? Yi Tian didn't care when he learned that it was Yao Jinlei and Yao Tijun. He smiled at Yao Ruowu and found that she looked very beautiful when she was shy. What do you agree to? Did you say anything to me? Hearing Yi Tian's words, Yao Ruowu boldly looked at Yi Tian, pretending to be puzzled. Yi Tian naturally knew what Yao Ruowu wanted him to say. He smiled and planned to tease her a few times. At this time, a maid came to Yao Ruowu quickly and glanced at Yi Tian. Yao Ruowu did not hide it from Yi Tian and asked the maid to speak directly. The maid said, Miss, Manager Du has returned from the Yuan medicine base. The owner asked you to go to the meeting room to discuss matters quickly. I know. After learning about this, Yao Ruowu asked the maid to go down, and then turned to look at Yi Tian. A trace of pity flashed in her eyes, and then she said, Yi Tian, Manager Du is the manager of intelligence at our Thunder Martial Arts School. He should have brought back very important news, otherwise my father would not have asked me to go there. I'll go first. Yi Tian nodded and said, then go quickly, I just happen to have something to do. Okay. Yao Ruowu nodded and walked towards the tall building. Yi Tian walked out of the martial arts school. The day after tomorrow is the task of guarding the medicine. Yi Tian believes that he will be fine, and he is still ready to improve his strength. He plans to sell a batch of resources obtained from Chen Shan. It is estimated to be worth a lot of money. On this side, Yao Ruowu came to an elegantly decorated meeting room. At this time, many people were already sitting here. In addition to Yao Jinlei sitting in the main seat and Yao Tijun next to him. The others were both men and women, but they were all warriors. After careful counting, there were 8 people in total. These 8 people were also the backbone of the Thunder Martial Arts School. Miss, seeing Yao Ruowu coming, the 8 warriors stood up and greeted her. They were respectful and sincere. In addition to Yao Ruowu's identity as the eldest lady of the Thunder Martial Arts School. It was also because Yao Ruowu was a warrior as strong as them at a young age, and her potential was much stronger than theirs, and she deserved their respect. Yao Ruowu sat on the right side of Yao Jinlei, opposite Yao Tijun. Dad, what's the news? Why are you calling me here so anxiously? Yao Ruowu asked after sitting down. Yao Jinlei looked at the middle-aged man next to Yao Tijun and said, Manager Du, Everyone is here, please tell everyone the news you got. Okay. The middle-aged man named Du Yanming nodded and said, Miss, everyone, this is the case. I was ordered by the owner to go to the Yuanyao base to investigate the reason for the large increase in the number of strange beasts there. When I entered the red leaf forest over there, I found that many of the strange beasts there came from the red maple forest. After I noticed this, I entered the red maple forest to investigate the reason. It was not until I entered the depths of the red maple forest that I found the reason. It turned out that 3 new Beast King level strange beasts were born there. In order to compete for territory, a war broke out with a wide range, resulting in many strange beasts being injured and killed. So the other strange beasts in the outer and inner areas of the red maple forest saw this and all ran out. Just when the Yuanyao in our Thunder Martial Arts Hall Yuanyao base matured, those strange beasts gathered in the red leaf forest. That's what happened. After listening to Du Yanming's report, Yao Jinlei looked at everyone and asked, What do you think? Soon, the meeting hall started to discuss. A female general spoke first. Master, everyone, if Lao Du's information is accurate, there is a lot to say here. Everyone knows that in the eyes of a martial king, even a level 10 general is an ant. Because when you reach the martial king realm, the Yuan Jing ball will turn into a Yuan lake, and the Yuan Qi will surge more than 10 times, so even a newly arrived martial king can beat more than 10 level 10 generals. If you want to cross the level and defeat the martial king below the martial king, let alone other places, it is impossible in our Ancheng city. The beast king is like the martial king among us humans. The Yuan Qi in his body is like a lake, which is amazing. Therefore, it is impossible to give birth to 3 beast kings at once even with the resources in the red maple forest in a short time. And don't you think it's a coincidence? Not long ago, the 9th level Beast King Silverback Violent Bear got a king level superb Yuan medicine, and his cultivation broke through to the 10th level Beast King realm. It is said that he is almost half a step into the Beast King realm, and he is extremely powerful. At this point, the middle-aged woman's eyes flashed with undisguised envy. If she can get that king level superb Yuan medicine, she can directly enter the martial king realm. And she can jump up 4 or 5 small realms in the martial king realm. One medicine takes off. After saying this, the middle-aged woman Mei Aishu didn't say anything more and gave the opportunity to others. A young man took over and said, Sister Mei, do you mean that the Yuan medicine obtained by the Silverback Violent Bear King and the 3 strange beasts that broke through to the Beast King realm have some kind of connection that we don't know about? This analysis makes sense. You know, Red Maple Forest hasn't produced a king-level top-grade Yuan medicine for a long time. Where did the Silverback Violent Bear get it? Commander Fang of the City Defense Army has been staring at the Silverback Violent Bear and has not found it has left the Red Maple Forest. In that case, the Silverback Violent Bear King's king-level top-grade Yuan medicine was obtained from the Red Maple Forest. The 3 Beast Kings who just broke through must have also obtained something similar. It may be Yuan medicine or other natural treasures, but they are all resources that are not available in the Red Maple Forest for the time being. At this point, the man's breathing suddenly became rapid. He stood up and exclaimed, Could it be that there is an entrance to a secret realm in the Red Maple Forest, or a cave of a strong man? When he made this guess, almost everyone present had their eyes shining and their breathing became rapid. Whether it was a secret realm or a cave of a strong man that appeared in the Red Maple Forest, it meant that there were a lot of resources. If they could get it, not to mention breaking through to the Martial King realm, at least they could take a few more steps forward in the Martial General realm. Generally, caves are guarded by formations. Caves that can contain king-level top-grade primordial medicines or at least the caves of emperor-level masters. Even if they are king-level, the formations guarding them will not be too weak. Even if the silver-backed violent bear is powerful, it is impossible for it to hide from Commander Fang's eyes and break through the protective formation silently. So I suspect that what appeared in the Red Maple Forest was not a cave of a strong man, but a secret realm, a medium-sized secret realm that can produce king-level top-grade primordial medicines. Since the revival of the vitality of heaven and earth, the size of the blue planet has been constantly expanding. When the size of the blue planet expands, it will cause space vibrations, and many entrances to some small worlds will appear. Humans call these small worlds secret realms. These secret realms are large and small. Humans divide them into 4 levels according to the size of the secret realm, the concentration of vitality, the natural materials and treasures produced, and the level of exotic beasts. They are small, medium, large and super large. Generally, medium-sized secret realms can produce king-level top-grade primordial medicines. Or a level 10 beast king, or other king-level treasures, or all of these exist. In addition, some treasures beyond the king level may also be born in a medium-sized secret realm, such as quasi-imperial level, even imperial level. Although there are strange beasts in the secret realm, any secret realm is a treasure waiting to be developed. Every time a secret realm appears, humans will try to enter it and search for resources. Of course, if the entrance to the secret realm is near a human city, humans will also send cultivators to resist the strange beasts inside to prevent them from coming out to harm humans. The man's speculation immediately attracted the attention of everyone present. Even Yao Ruowu became very interested. Seeing that a secret realm might appear in the Red Maple Forest, Yao Tijun said at this time, if it is a secret realm, it can explain the king-level superb yuan medicine obtained by the silverback Violent Bear King, and the source of the resources for the 3 newly promoted Beast Kings to upgrade, but we still need to investigate this matter carefully. After speaking, Yao Tijun looked at Yao Jinlei and said, Brother, since we have discovered the abnormality in the Red Maple Forest, the other 3 families must have discovered it as well. Why don't we join forces with them to investigate whether there is a secret realm in the Red Maple Forest? The Red Maple Forest is very dangerous, especially in the deep part. Even ordinary martial kings who go into the deep part of the Red Maple Forest are likely to be injured. If they are unlucky and encounter those powerful beast kings, they may even die there. The Red Maple Forest needs to be explored, but it is not suitable for one person to explore. Yao Jinlei shook his head indifferently and said, Second brother, your worry is not unreasonable, but I have teleportation and can come and go freely. And there are not many beast kings in the Red Maple Forest who are stronger than me, I can investigate it myself. But you can contact the other 3 families first and find out the information they have, which may be helpful to us. Okay, brother, you must be careful, and you must come back decisively if things are not going well. Yao Tijun said with concern. Yao Ruowu also told Yao Jinlei to act calmly. Don't be reckless. You can't just ignore those beast kings because you have the secret art of teleportation. You can't get addicted to fighting. Yao Jinlei nodded and told the 2 to rest assured, and then arranged the task of guarding the medicine. He looked at the red-clothed woman and the 2 middle-aged men and said, Manager Mei, Manager Zhao, Manager Zhou, this time the task of guarding the medicine will be led by you, with Manager Mei as the leader. Yes, Master. The 3 people whose names were called stood up and nodded in agreement. Dad, I also want to participate in the task of guarding the medicine with the 3 managers. Seeing that his father didn't call him, Yao Ruowu looked at his father and said. Yao Jinlei glanced at his precious daughter. He knew what Yao Ruowu was thinking, thought about it, and then nodded and agreed, you can go, but remember safety first. I will. Seeing that his father agreed to let him go, Yao Ruowu nodded happily and agreed. Seeing his daughter's happy agreement, Yao Jinlei shook his head in his heart. You really remember the words of safety first. You also used all the wealth you have accumulated over the years from Wanbao Building and other businesses under your name to buy that set of king-level mid-grade armor and sword. You don't even know how to upgrade your own weapons. But Yao Jinlei didn't say this. In fact, even if his daughter didn't do this, he also planned to find an opportunity to buy a set of king-level armor and weapons for Yi Tian. Yi Tian, a young man with the potential of a great emperor, is in his own martial arts hall. He naturally understands the principle of investing in advance. But his daughter got there first. Seeing that the matter had been discussed, Yao Jinlei announced the adjournment of the meeting. Today's meeting ends here. Those who have not been assigned a task will stay in the martial arts hall to guard it. After saying that, Yao Jinlei disappeared in front of everyone. Seeing his elder brother leaving in a cool way, Yao Tijun waved his hand to open the window and flew out immediately. Others couldn't help but shake their heads and chuckle when they saw this. This pair of the owner and deputy owner of the martial arts hall are really persistent in showing off. Guest, what do you need? At this time, Yi Tian, wearing a black suit and a black hat, walked into Wanbaolo. Seeing Yi Tian, a smiling female staff member came to greet him. I want to sell some things, Take me to a separate room. Yi Tian got straight to the point and directly stated his purpose. Okay, sir. The female staff member nodded. Under her guidance, Yi Tian came to a room that was neither big nor small. After seeing what Yi Tian took out, the woman knew that she could not make the decision, so she asked Yi Tian to wait for a while and then went to ask someone who could make the decision. This time, the woman did not invite Yao Ruowu to Yi Tian, but an old man in his 60s or 70s. This old man has the cultivation of level 8 Wuzong. He is well informed and experienced. He quickly counted all the items sold by Yi Tian. Guessed, the total is 67,593,554 yuan coins. You sold so many things at once to make it round for you. I will give you 67.6 million yuan coins. Do you think the number is right? Can you accept it? The old man handed the list of items to Yi Tian and asked. Yi Tian nodded after reading it, and then asked the old man to pay with yuanxi. The old man then asked someone to send 4 boxes. He took some and handed the rest to Yi Tian. Yi Tian glanced at it and confirmed that it was correct and asked, I need a general level skill that can gently nourish the body and prolong life. Do you have it here? After listening to Yi Tian's needs, the old man thought for a while and nodded, there are some guests. I will ask someone to get it for you. After the old man finished speaking, he contacted with his mobile phone. Not long after, a female staff member holding a red wooden tray came in. There were 3 skills on the wooden tray, namely, Life Nourishing Skill, Dead Wood Rejuvenation Skill, and Big Wood Yuan Skill. The old man introduced the advantages and disadvantages of these 3 skills to Yi Tian one by one. After careful consideration, Yi Tian finally chose Big Wood Yuan Skill. All 3 skills have the function of nourishing the body, but the focus and difficulty of practice are very different. The Vitality Nourishing Skill focuses on nourishment. Not only is the progress of cultivation slow, but the destructive power of this kind of vitality is also very weak, so it is not suitable for fighting or self-protection. The Dead Wood Reviving Skill is a skill that continuously accumulates vitality. When the practitioner is injured, seriously injured or dying, the accumulated vitality can be released to quickly recover from the injury. If the accumulated vitality is enough, it can even revive a person with full blood. This skill is also not suitable for fighting, so Yi Tian did not choose it. Compared with the previous 2 skills, the effect of nourishing the body of Damu Yuan Gong is not much worse than them, and the cultivated wood attribute vitality also has a strong attack power. The most important thing is that this skill can absorb the vitality of wood attribute beast cores or wood attribute yuanxi yuani to speed up the cultivation speed. Yi Tian also chose this skill for his mother. He planned to let her practice this skill after clearing the blood poison in his mother's body. Yi Tian knew that his mother's talent for cultivation was not very high, so he chose this skill for her. As for the wood-attributed beast cores or wood-attributed yuanxi yuani needed for cultivation, he would prepare them. I want this, Great Wood Yuangong, how much is it? Yi Tian picked up the last book and asked. The old man said, this technique is top-notch among the general-level techniques, and is worth 7.5 million coins. This price is neither too high nor too low. Yi Tian directly took out 750 pieces of low-grade yuanxi from the box and gave them to the old man, and then left here with the technique and yuanxi. Came to a deserted place. Yi Tian recharged all the yuanxi. Obtained 601,000 points of wealth. Yi Tian used 450,000 points of wealth to improve his cultivation to level 6 general. Used 70,000 points of wealth to practice the thunder slash of destruction to a small success. After his strength was improved again, Yi Tian felt like he could blow up a mountain 100 meters high with one punch. I believe that with my current strength, as long as I don't encounter practitioners who have also practiced the techniques of the venerable rank and above, I can completely sweep the same rank. If I match it with the purple thunder blade and purple thunder armor that Ruo Wu gave me, even practitioners or beasts who have just entered the king realm are not my opponents. After his strength increased greatly, Yi Tian was also full of expectations for the task of guarding the medicine. I hope this group of strange beasts won't disappoint me too much. Time passed slowly, and it was time for the medicine guarding mission. Many people came to the square of Thunder Martial Arts today. 3 large teams were divided under a stone platform more than 1 meter high. They were warriors, martial masters and martial masters. The warriors team came from ordinary members of Thunder Martial Arts. Some of the martial masters came from elite members of Thunder Martial Arts, and some came from Genius Pavilion. A small part of the martial masters came from Genius Pavilion, and most of them came from Martial Master Hall. Each large team was divided into several small teams of 5 people. At this time, in a martial master team, a young man in his early 30s said very unhappily, "It's really unlucky, why is Yi Tian assigned to our team? He is a genius, but he is only a level 3 martial master. Once we encounter danger in the medicine guarding mission, should we run directly or take him with us? If we take him with us, won't we be dragged down by him? Captain, if it were you, you should take us to find a few managers and ask them to replace a powerful teammate for us." As if he knew that it was not good to say bad things about others, the young man added, "Of course, I am not targeting Yi Tian, but this time the task of guarding the medicine is more dangerous than before, and there can be no shortcomings in our team." After the young man finished speaking, the young man named Zhao Jing next to him looked at a woman in front of him who was about 23 or 2 years old, and agreed, "Captain, I think what Xie Fei said makes sense. Captain, you are a level 10 martial artist, the first martial artist in the Genius Pavilion, and you have practiced the Thunder King art, Thunder Slashing Sword technique and Thunder Blast step to the point of great success. You are strong enough to challenge some first and second level martial masters. Although I am not as good as you, Captain, I am also a level 8 martial artist. I have practiced the Thunder King art, Thunder Slashing Sword technique and Thunder Blast step to the level of small success, and my combat power is not weaker than that of an average level 10 martial artist. Although Xie Fei is a little worse, he has also practiced Thunder King Gong and Thunder Blast step to a small degree, and has also mastered Thunder Blast step, and has also reached the level of a 7th level martial artist." He pointed to another teammate and said, "Although Li Shan is only an elite member, he is also a 7th level martial artist, with a strong body, and can be a tank to share the pressure with us. But what can Yi Tian do? His cultivation is too low. If he is with us, he can only hold us back, so I strongly oppose him becoming our teammate." At this point, Zhao Jing also added, "Of course, I am not targeting Yi Tian, I just don't want to be dragged down by him when I encounter danger." Seeing the 2 people who suddenly complained, Captain Lu Honglin didn't say much. She looked at the young man named Li Shan and asked, "Li Shan, what do you think?" The man named Li Shan was about 30 years old, tall and strong, and looked silly. He scratched the back of his head and said, "Captain, I heard that Yi Tian defeated Wu Ming, a level 6 martial artist, with 1 sword, which shows that his actual strength is much higher than his level. And he is so talented, so many days have passed and his cultivation level may have improved a lot. So I don't think he will necessarily drag us down, and I don't mind him becoming my teammate." Seeing that Li Shan's attitude was opposite to his own, especially when he heard Li Shan's last sentence, Zhao Jing immediately looked at Li Shan and sneered. "Li Shan, it's only been a few days since Yi Tian and Wu Ming fought. No matter how talented Yi Tian is, how much can his cultivation level improve? Level 4 martial artist, I think he can only reach level 5 martial artist at best. But such a cultivation level is not very helpful to us, and he may not be able to improve his cultivation level by 2 small realms in such a short time." Xie Fei also did not agree with what Wu Shan said. After Zhao Jing finished speaking, he continued, "Li Shan, you have to understand that even the cultivation speed of geniuses has its own rules. Even if Yi Tian has the appearance of a martial emperor, it is already amazing that he can improve his cultivation level to a level 4 martial artist in such a short time. Level 5 martial artist, why don't you say that he has already reached the level of a level 5 martial master or even a level 6 martial general? What a bold thought. You also need to know that you are the tank in our team. Once you encounter a large number of monsters attacking, you have to stand in front of us. When the time comes, do you think it is more important for a powerful teammate to help you share the pressure, or for Yi Tian to help you share the pressure? So you should be more sober and don't let the title of genius affect your judgment." Xie Fei is right. If we talk about geniuses, which one of us is not a genius? But a genius is nothing if he doesn't grow up. After Xie Fei finished speaking, Zhao Jing spoke again. The 2 of them supported each other and were not optimistic about Yi Tian as their teammate. They wanted Lu Honglin to find a few managers to replace Yi Tian. Only the captain had the right to make suggestions on this matter. Lu Honglin knew the importance of unity to a team. She also knew that what Xie Fei and Zhao Jing said was not unreasonable. No matter how talented Yi Tian was, that was a matter for the future. This medicine guarding mission was more dangerous than before. The strength of each member of the team should be balanced to be the most appropriate. She actually didn't understand why the higher-ups assigned Yi Tian to their group. As a captain, she needed to take into account the feelings of her teammates. But as a genius who could be ranked in the top 3 in the Genius Pavilion, she was very confident in her own strength. Like Li Shan, she didn't mind Yi Tian becoming one of them. Besides, Yi Tian was still a genius far superior to her. Being able to help such people when they were weak might also be of great benefit to them in the future. So, no matter from which angle, she didn't mind taking care of Yi Tian. But she also has to address Xie Fei and Zhao Jing's concerns. After thinking for a while, Lu Honglin said, Xie Fei, Zhao Jing, since the higher-ups have assigned Yi Tian to our group, they obviously have their intentions. What Li Shan said is not unreasonable. Perhaps Yi Tian's cultivation has improved a lot during this period of time, and he will not necessarily drag us down. But I also understand your concerns and worries. In this way, I allow you to escape alone without caring about Yi Tian's safety when we are in a life and death crisis. But since everyone is a teammate, I still hope that everyone can help each other and trust each other. I also believe that only such a team can have cohesion and fully exert the overall strength of a team, don't you think? Lu Honglin's voice was loud and clear, and she took care of everyone's emotions. Xie Fei and Zhao Jing were still reluctant to listen to her words. But Lu Honglin had already said so much, and they knew that they had to stop when they saw the good. Otherwise, it would really shake the morale of the army. Immediately, the two of them expressed their opinions one after another. Since the captain has spoken, we agree to let Yi Tian join us. But captain, I have a wife and children to support at home. If I really encounter a life-threatening situation, don't blame me for abandoning that kid. Lu Honglin shook her head and said, since I said so, I will allow you to do this. You don't have to have any psychological burden, and I will take care of Yi Tian more. After that, Lu Honglin turned to look at Li Shan on the side. Captain, I naturally don't mind Yi Tian joining us. But you can rest assured, I am the tank in the team. I will be at the front when it is dangerous. Even if I die when escaping, I will be the last one for everyone. Li Shan's thick hands patted his chest to show his attitude. His voice was loud and full of determination, as if he didn't care about life and death. This made Lu Honglin quite satisfied. Only such people can be real teammates. But she also understood. After all, their team was formed temporarily, so naturally everyone had some small thoughts. Li Shan, don't worry. This time, we are the only ones who will chase the monsters. The monsters will never chase us, so you don't have to cover for everyone. At this moment, a loud voice came. Several people turned their heads and saw Yi Tian's handsome face. Even though Lu Honglin had seen Yi Tian's photo before, she couldn't help but admire him when she saw him in person. Yi Tian is really very handsome, much more handsome than in the photo. Why is there such a handsome man in the world? And he is a genius among geniuses. Seeing Yi Tian suddenly appear. Thinking that Yi Tian might have heard what they said before, Xie Fei and Zhao Jing blushed unconsciously. It was like being caught on the spot when they were saying bad things about others. But they didn't regret it. Compared with life, what's the big deal about offending a genius who hasn't grown up yet? Captain, please rest assured, I won't hold you back. Yi Tian walked up to the group and immediately looked at the 23-year-old woman in red and white tight combat uniform. His face brought a spring breeze-like smile, and his tone was firm and confident, which made people unconsciously feel a strong sense of security. Lu Honglin was startled when she heard this. Her black eyes reflected Yi Tian's confident and serious look, and she was stunned for a while before she came back to her senses. She stretched out her hand and said softly, Yi Tian, I believe you. Thank you for your trust, Captain. Yi Tian held Lu Honglin's hand and said with a smile. Lu Honglin's hands were very soft, probably because she often used weapons. Her joints had some obvious roughness. Some information about Lu Honglin immediately emerged in Yi Tian's mind. Lu Honglin, 23 years old, the top martial arts master of the Genius Pavilion. Used knife weapons. He practiced the Thunder King Gong, Thunder Destruction Sword technique, and Thunder Violent Step to perfection. The second genius of the Genius Pavilion. No partner. Unmarried. Then Yi Tian greeted Li Shan. Yi Tian had a good impression of this honest big man who didn't care about life and death. He decided that in the next battle, if Li Shan did as he said, he didn't mind taking care of him when he was in danger. Yi Tian has always been a person who repays favors, even if Li Shan just said a few words for him. As for Xie Fei and Zhao Jing, Yi Tian just nodded to them symbolically, as a greeting. If it weren't for the fact that they were now teammates with him, Yi Tian would not have paid any attention to them. Their reasons for disliking him seemed reasonable, but deep down they lacked trust in their teammates. For such people, Yi Tian naturally didn't want to pay too much attention. Dong. Not long after, a loud bell rang in the square. At this time, 4 people walked onto the high platform at the front of the team. 4 people, 2 men and 2 women. The one in the front was Money.I, a level 7 general. She had an upright posture, fair skin, and a mature aura in her beautiful face. She wore a set of red close-fitting combat uniforms, showing off her curvy body to the fullest. As soon as she appeared, she attracted the attention of many male practitioners, including Xie Fei and Zhao Jing next to Yi Tian. Behind her was Yao Ruowu, who was wearing a purple combat uniform. After she walked onto the stage, her eyes, like autumn water, swept through the crowd and soon found Yi Tian. Yao Ruowu winked at Yi Tian mischievously, smiling, looking very pretty like a blooming flower. She had a beautiful face and a figure that was even better than Money.I's. Coupled with her youthful aura, she instantly attracted the attention of a large number of male practitioners. The eldest lady is still so beautiful. If I can marry the eldest lady, I would be willing to live 50 years less. You are so bold. Can we imagine a girl like the eldest lady? Yes, dream quickly, there is everything in dreams. The eldest lady is incomparable to ordinary people in terms of appearance, figure and talent. I am afraid that only a genius with the talent of a martial emperor can match the eldest lady. I really envy that kind of person. I don't know which genius the eldest lady will marry in the future. Wow, look, the eldest lady is smiling at me. Does the eldest lady like me? At this time, a strange voice sounded. Ah, don't disgust me, don't take a piss and look at yourself. The young lady is looking at you, obviously she is looking at me, okay. A bunch of narcissists, the young lady is obviously looking at Yi Tian, okay. Yi Tian not only has the appearance of a martial emperor, but is also extremely handsome. Can you compare with Yi Tian? At this time, a female cultivator cruelly punctured the fantasy of several people. Seeing Yao Ruowu looking at him, Yi Tian responded with a gentle smile. He knew the day before yesterday that Yao Ruowu also participated in the medicine guarding mission, so he was not surprised to see her appear. The other 2 were called Zhao Feiyu, a middle-aged man in his early 40s. Level 4 military commander cultivation, wearing a set of golden combat uniforms. The last one was Zhou Anhai, in his early 40s, also a level 4 military commander cultivation, wearing a set of blue combat uniforms. After the 4 arrived, they simply encouraged morale and announced their departure. Everyone got on the bus in front of the martial arts hall and headed out of the city. How many people do you think can come back alive this time? Looking at the buses that drove away. On a tall building, a general who stayed behind asked a general next to him. The man thought for a while, then sighed and said, I hope they can all come back alive. After hearing this, the general who spoke first was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, although the number of strange beasts in the red leaf forest has increased several times this time there are also Manager Mei and the eldest lady, maybe they can all come back alive. The bus quickly drove out of Ancheng City and headed northwest. The Yuanyao base of Thunder Martial Arts Hall is located there. We are about to reach the Yuanyao base. Let me introduce you to the Yuanyao base of our Thunder Martial Arts Hall, as well as the time and task distribution of this mission. On the bus, Lu Honglin took out a map, pointed to a place marked with a red dot on it and said to Yi Tian and the other 4. The land here is fertile and rich in vitality. It is the most suitable place to grow Yuan medicine, and it is also the location of our Thunder Martial Arts Hall Yuan medicine base. The area is about 1,500 acres, and there are more than 10-meter-high walls built around it. Our task is to resist the invading beasts on the wall. Because there are many types of Yuan medicine in the Yuan medicine base, the time for maturity is also different. What we have to do is to wait until all the Yuan medicines are mature and picked by the people in the alchemy hall, and then we have completed the task. According to the past time, the time difference between the beginning of the maturity of Yuan medicine and the full maturity of Yuan medicine is about 15 days. That is to say, we have to hold on to the Yuan medicine base for half a month. Generally, the higher the level of Yuan medicine, the later it matures, and it is often the most dangerous at that time, because those high-level beasts will wait for those high-level Yuan medicines to mature before attacking the base. But don't worry, the Yuan medicine in the Yuan medicine base is divided into 4 areas according to the level. They are the basic area, the primary area, the intermediate area and the advanced area. Generally, warriors guard the basic and primary areas of the Yuan Yao. We warriors guard the intermediate areas of the Yuan Yao, and the Wuzong guards the most dangerous high-level Yuan Yao. Of course, if the Wuzong is short of manpower in the end, we may also be transferred to support them. This is very dangerous for us, but it will make additional contributions, which can be regarded as a blessing and a curse. Finally, let's talk about the red leaf forest. Lu Honglin's white fingers slid from the red dot of the Yuan Yao base to a forest outside the base. This is the red leaf forest. I guess you all know the red maple forest. Lu Honglin said, looking at Yi Tian and others. Xie Fei, Zhao Jing and Li Shan nodded immediately. Although Yi Tian had never been to the red maple forest, he also knew that this was the most dangerous forest outside Ancheng City. In addition, he learned from Chen Shan's intelligence not long ago that a powerful beast of the 10th level Beast King realm was born in the red maple forest. Yi Tian nodded, indicating that he knew it too. Lu Honglin then continued. Red maple forest is in the north, more than 30 kilometers wide from east to west, hundreds of kilometers long from north to south, and extends northward from the north of Ancheng City. Although red leaf forest is not the same forest as red maple forest, but it is less than 10 kilometers away from red maple forest. So there are often strange beasts in red leaf forest running to red leaf forest. The reason why the Martial Arts Hall announced the increase in strange beasts in Red Leaf Forest this time is because the 3 newly born Beast Kings in Red Maple Forest fought for territory. The flames of their fight spread to the inner and outer areas of Red Maple Forest, resulting in the tragic death of many strange beasts. Other strange beasts fled outside when they saw this, and many of them entered Red Leaf Forest. At this time, the Yuan medicine in our Thunder Martial Arts Hall Yuan medicine base began to mature in large numbers, so they simply stayed in Red Leaf Forest, intending to attack the base and rob the Yuan medicine. The intermediate Yuan medicine area guarded by our martial artists is behind the North City Wall. The North Wall is about 900 meters long, and the 600-meter range from west to east is guarded by martial artists. The last 300 meters are some of the primary Yuan medicine areas guarded by martial artists. The high-level Yuan medicine area that Wuzong wants to guard is behind the west wall. That side faces the red leaf forest, where there are the most Yuan beasts, and there are beast general level beasts. It is the most difficult to defend, but several generals should go there. As the team leader, Lu Honglin learned some news in advance and told Yi Tian and others in detail. Before they knew it, the bus had been driving in the wild for half an hour. About half a quarter of an hour later, everyone finally arrived at the Yuan medicine base. What caught everyone's eyes was a base that was 7 or 8 meters high and looked like a small city. The vehicle entered from the east gate through a 7 or 8 meter long doorway. The roads in the Yuan medicine base are connected in all directions. The road surface is all hardened. The bus quickly sent each team to the designated area. Not long after, the martial arts team of 100 people including Yi Tian arrived at the designated North Wall area. At this time, Lu Honglin took out her mobile phone. She received a message, but she was confused after seeing the content of the message. Captain, which section are we guarding? Xie Fei walked over to ask. The 600-meter wall in the martial arts area is divided into 30-meter sections, totaling 20 sections. The closer to the west, the larger the number, the more dangerous the wall section. Because it is close to the high-level Yuanyao area, the monsters that appear are very strong, and even fourth-level monsters often appear. Lu Honglin turned the phone screen to everyone and said, "Lucky, it's the 9th section of the wall." The 9th section. I thought it would be the first 5 sections. It seems that our chances of returning alive are very high. Zhao Jing breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this number. Li Shan also touched the back of his head, grinning, and couldn't hide the joy on his face. Although they all came for the generous rewards, they didn't want to lose their lives here. Among the 5 people, Yi Tian was probably the most regretful. He thought that with the overall strength of their team, it would be no problem to defend the first 5 sections of the wall. After all, Lu Honglin was the strongest among the martial artists. Xie Fei and Zhao Jing were also strong. Even Li Shan was a level 7 martial artist, and he practiced a physical strengthening technique, so he was very resistant. Even if his strength was low, he shouldn't have only guarded the 9th section of the city wall. However, Yi Tian soon figured out what was going on. He shook his head speechlessly in his heart. "Ruowu, you are harming me." He thought it might be the result of Yao Ruowu's secret operation. Yi Tian didn't know whether he should be happy or unhappy. Unhappy, there are not so many monsters to kill. Happy, it seems that the safety has been greatly improved. But he doesn't need it. The location has been decided, let's go over there. Lu Honglin turned off her phone. When she passed by Yi Tian, she glanced at Yi Tian more, not knowing what she was thinking. Xie Fei and Zhao Jing were only happy and didn't notice this. Li Shan looked around with a curious look on his face. Smelling the vitality here is almost 3 or 4 times richer than Ancheng City. He had an intoxicated expression on his face, and said with longing, "It would be great if I could live here forever." Yi Tian smiled and patted his broad shoulders and said, "After picking the Yuan medicine, there will be no such rich vitality here." After hearing this, Li Shan finally reacted and laughed. "I just said it casually. If I really have to stay here, I don't have the patience." The two followed Lu Honglin while talking. Soon they arrived at the 9th section of the city wall they were guarding. 30 meters is not very far. It only takes a moment for Yi Tian and others. So they did not arrange people to guard in sections. "Hey, isn't this Miss Lu Honglin, the first martial artist of our genius pavilion? Why, with your strength, how can you guard the 9th section of the city wall? Isn't it a waste of talent?" Seeing Lu Honglin and the other 5 people coming over, the group guarding the 8th section of the city wall came over. The leader was a young man in his 20s, with an average appearance and wearing high-level combat uniforms. "What does it matter to you which section of the city wall I guard? The task of guarding the medicine has begun. Hurry up and go back to your own area. Don't get in my way here." Seeing the person coming, Lu Honglin replied coldly, but his words were full of anger. "Li Shan, do you know what the relationship is between this man and our captain?" Looking at the 2 people who were almost on the verge of a fight, Yi Tian nudged Li Shan's arm with his elbow and asked. Li Shan nodded, but he seemed to be very afraid of this young man, and whispered in Yi Tian's ear. "This man is Hu Shaochen, a 9th-level martial artist, and he also practices Thunder King Gong. But his comprehension is much worse than our captain. He has only practiced to the entry level, and has only practiced Thunder Violence Step and Thunder Destroying Sword technique to a small degree. The story between him and our captain started a month ago. I remember it was a sunny day." Seeing that Li Shan was suspected of being a trick, Yi Tian stopped him directly. "Let him get to the point directly." Li Shan had opened his mouth but was stopped by Yi Tian all of a sudden. He was a little disappointed in his affection, but he still explained to Yi Tian, "A month ago, Hu Shaochen publicly announced that he wanted to pursue our captain, but his means were very inferior. There is a strong general in his family, and it is his father. The Hu family has a lot of business dealings with our Lei Ting Martial Arts School, and they are considered a subordinate force of our Lei Ting Martial Arts School. At that time, he relied on his status to prevent other men from paying attention to our captain. Yi Tian, you may not know that although our captain focuses on cultivation and basically does not talk about love between men and women, Hu Shaochen's domineering still makes her feel disgusted." So the captain said in front of many people that she looked down on Hu Shaochen and told Hu Shaochen to give up the idea. Of course Hu Shaoqian didn't agree. He later gave our captain gifts many times, but the captain didn't accept them. But I didn't expect Hu Shaoqian to be so vicious. He didn't continue to impress the captain with his sincerity, but instead started to attack the captain's family. The captain's parents are just ordinary warriors, and he has a senior brother who needs training resources. As a result, Hu Shaoqian used his family power to intervene and made the captain's parents lose their jobs. Let the teachers and classmates of the captain's brother's school target the captain's brother. This made the captain very angry. One day, the captain found Hu Shaoqian and prepared to teach him a lesson. But Hu Shaoqian threatened the captain that if the captain dared to attack him, he would send someone to kill the captain's family. The captain attaches great importance to his family. Hu Shaoqian's threat made the captain hesitate to deal with Hu Shaoqian. Later, he could only hold back his anger and wait coldly. After learning about this, Yi Tian thought for a while and asked curiously, "Li Shan, will our martial arts school not take care of this matter?" Yi Tian had met Yao Jinlei and Yao Tijun and knew that they were good people. Yi Tian believed that they would not allow such a terrible thing to happen in their martial arts school, which would bully others and harm the families of other members. Li Shan said, "Of course the martial arts school will take care of it." After the martial arts school knew about it, it severely criticized Hu Shaoqian, cut off many of his resources, and fined the Hu family a lot of money. The martial arts school also helped to restore the captain's family's job and gave the captain's family a lot of compensation. Since then, Hu Shaoqian dared not arrange people to target the captain's family. But they dare not do it openly, but secretly find some underworld forces to attack the captain's family. Who can know? The underworld forces in our city are all related to the Wu family. Once the underworld forces are involved, it is difficult for our martial arts school to investigate. And as long as there is no solid evidence for such dark things, even if the martial arts school wants to intervene, it can't. I heard that the captain's father was infected with a strange cold poison not long ago, and it needs the extremely valuable and very scarce general-level fiery pill to cure it. The captain participated in this medicine guarding mission in order to earn enough contribution points to buy fiery pills. Li Shan talked freely and told Yi Tian all the information he knew. After listening to Li Shan's introduction, Yi Tian thought of the roughness on Lu Honglin's hands. For a 10th level martial artist, even if they have calluses on their hands, as long as they circulate their vitality a little, they can get rid of these calluses in a short time. Lu Honglin's soft hands have no calluses but a rough feeling. It can be seen that her long-term practice of weapon-related martial arts has prevented the roughness from disappearing. When Yi Tian first learned about Lu Honglin's information, he only thought that she was a person who pursued martial arts wholeheartedly. Now Yi Tian knows that he was wrong. If the years are really peaceful, why do you have to suffer so much? But these guys who bully others by taking advantage of their power are really nothing. Seeing Lu Honglin standing upright in front of Hu Shaoqian and the others, he looked helpless. Yi Tian thought of the time when he was laughed at by countless people. How lonely and helpless. Thinking of this, Yi Tian stepped forward and walked to Lu Honglin's side. When he was about to confront this rich kid, Hu Shaoqian also noticed Yi Tian. He was stunned for a moment when he saw Yi Tian, then he suddenly realized and said with a smile. "So Yi Tian, the number 1 genius of our genius pavilion, is in your team. No wonder you were assigned to guard the 9th section of the city wall. Lu Honglin, it seems that this is your fate. Originally, you planned to earn enough contribution points in this medicine guarding mission to buy a fiery pill for your father to heal his wounds. But now it seems that you can't do it. The number and strength of the alien beasts in the defense zone of the 9th section of the city wall are much lower than those of the first 5 sections of the city wall. But I have always been generous. As long as you are willing to kneel down and beg me, I don't mind giving you a general level fiery pill. Do you think it's a good deal? You can get what you want as long as you kneel down and bow your head, without risking your life to hunt alien beasts to earn contribution points." Hu Shaoqian looked at Yi Tian again. When he saw Yi Tian's extremely handsome face, his eyes were filled with extremely difficult to control jealousy and hatred. He even wanted to kill Yi Tian on the spot. He thought that if he was so handsome, wouldn't he be able to easily take down Lu Honglin? Even the eldest lady of the martial arts hall, Yao Ruowu. It's a pity that he looks ordinary, but this unknown boy is extremely handsome and talented. It's so annoying. But even if Hu Shaochen had 10,000 guts, he wouldn't dare to attack Yi Tian now. Not to mention that Yi Tian is the first genius of the Genius Pavilion and is highly valued by the two kings and Yao Ruowu. It's just that it's time to do the task now, and it's most taboo for people in the same hall to fight each other. Once such a thing happens, the lighter one will be abolished by the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. The heavier one will be killed on the spot. Hu Shaochen's eyes turned for a while, and I don't know what he was thinking. But soon his eyes moved, and he said to Lu Honglin, "Lu Honglin, don't you want the fiery pill to treat your father? This young master will give you this opportunity now. If you have the courage, you can bet with this young master on the total contribution of our two teams in this primary task. If the total contribution of your team exceeds that of my team in the end, I will give you the general level fiery pill you need. But if your team's total contribution is not as good as ours, then you have to agree to one of my requests, no matter how excessive it is. Do you have the courage to accept my bet?" As Hu Shaochen spoke, his eyes kept scanning Lu Honglin's body. When he saw the towering figure of Lu Honglin's red and white combat uniform, flat belly, a pair of straight and long beautiful legs, the look in his eyes became more and more wanton and greedy. He wanted to pounce on her right then and there and release the desire that had been suppressed in his heart for a long time. Lu Honglin frowned and hated the look Hu Shaochen gave her. She immediately released a burst of energy to suppress it, and Hu Shaochen retreated several steps before he fearfully retracted his unscrupulous look. However, she was actually very tempted by Hu Shaochen's proposal. But Lu Honglin quickly dispelled this unrealistic idea. Hu Shaochen's cultivation level is level 9 martial artist. Although his strength is far inferior to his own, his teammates are all very strong. Zhao Yuming, 10th level martial artist. The second strongest among the martial artists in the Genius Pavilion, with the great success of Thunder King Gong, Thunder Slashing Sword Technique, and the minor success of Thunder Violent Step. His family background is not very good, but he had colluded with Hu Shaochen early on, got the support of the Hu family, and had a brigadier-level weapon. Lu Honglin knew that if they really had to fight, Zhao Yuming's strength was not much lower than hers. In addition, the remaining 3 people in Hu Shaochen's team were all practitioners of the 8th level martial artist. Each one was no weaker than Zhao Jing. As for Xie Fei and Li Shan, they could not compare with them at all. In fact, not to mention Xie Fei and Li Shan, the most important thing was Yi Tian in their team. Lu Honglin knew that Yi Tian was a genius. It is estimated that Yi Tian's cultivation has improved a little in the past few days. But no matter how bold Lu Honglin's guess was, he would not think that Yi Tian's current strength could be comparable to the 8th level martial artist in Hu Shaochen's team. Thinking of this, Lu Honglin regained his sanity. She knew that Hu Shaochen wanted to take advantage of her eagerness to get the fiery pill and trick her. She would not be fooled. But these guys were too timid. With such strong strength, they could defend the first 5 sections of the city wall, but they came to defend the 8th section. It is estimated that they did a lot of operations in secret. "I am not interested, get out." In the end, Lu Honglin rejected Hu Shaochen coldly. After she finished speaking, she turned around and looked at the mountains and forests outside the city wall, and ignored Hu Shaochen and his men. But at this moment, a clear and loud voice sounded from behind her. "Hu Shaochen, right, I agree to this bet on behalf of our captain." The voice was not loud, but it shocked everyone. The owner of this voice was none other than Yi Tian. Yi Tian was very upset when he saw Hu Shaochen bullying others, and planned to help Lu Honglin to fight this guy. Later, Yi Tian knew that it was because of him that Lu Honglin could not go to the front section to guard. He wanted to make up for this strong and kind-hearted woman. What Yi Tian didn't expect was that Hu Shaochen actually wanted to trick Lu Honglin after seeing him. For Lu Honglin, Hu Shaochen's bet was indeed a trap, but it just suited his wishes. Compared with the final contribution points of each team, Yi Tian was naturally not afraid of Hu Shaochen and his team. Not to mention Hu Shaochen and his team, he didn't even take those generals seriously. Since this evil young man took the initiative to bet, he naturally had to help the scene and earn the fiery pill to make up for Lu Honglin. However, Lu Honglin, Li Shan, Xie Fei and Zhao Jing obviously didn't expect Yi Tian to agree to the bet with Hu Shaochen. Lu Honglin turned around in an instant and looked at Yi Tian very unexpectedly, not understanding what Yi Tian was thinking. Zhao Jing directly scolded. Yi Tian, are you sick in the head? Don't you know their strength? How can we compare with them? The captain just spoke for you so that we wouldn't exclude you, but now you are so good that you actually repay kindness and trick the captain. I, Zhao Jing, have never seen such a shameless villain like you. Xie Fei on the side also nodded and agreed. Yi Tian, I really look down on you. You are a genius. It will embarrass our Lei Ting martial arts school if we tell others about it. Yi Tian, did you say the wrong thing? You didn't agree on behalf of the captain, but refused on behalf of the captain. Li Shan also spoke at this time. However, he did not scold Yi Tian, but made up for Yi Tian and expressed his inner doubts. He chatted with Yi Tian all the way and knew that Yi Tian was easygoing. He did not have the attitude of other geniuses who always spoke to them in a pretentious and contemptuous manner. So he felt that Yi Tian was not the ungrateful person Zhao Jing said. Lu Honglin's eyes were always fixed on Yi Tian. She did not speak, but from her surprised and puzzled eyes, it can be seen that she was not calm in her heart, and she seemed to be wondering why Yi Tian said so. At this time, Hu Xiaochen, who was originally rejected by Lu Honglin, felt very sorry. But when he heard what Yi Tian said, the corners of his mouth could no longer be suppressed, and he hurriedly said, Lu Honglin, Yi Tian is a member of the team, and he is one with you. Since he promised you, I will take it as your promise. Brothers, let's go quickly and tell the people in other teams about this news, so that Miss Lu Honglin will not default on our debt the next day. Hu Xiaochen did not give Lu Honglin a chance to refute. After he finished speaking, he led his people to rush quickly in the direction of other teams. Plan to spread this news and make this bet true. It's over now. Yi Tian blames you. Why did you agree to it? Seeing Hu Xiaochen and his men leaving quickly, Xie Fei couldn't help but complain. Zhao Jing looked at Lu Honglin and spread his hands and said, Captain, you see, I told you not to let Yi Tian join us, but you insisted on protecting him. Now, he has directly pitted you. After that, Zhao Jing snorted again and said, Captain, I even doubt whether Yi Tian is Hu Xiaochen's man and deliberately pitted you. In my opinion, he should be. Zhao Jing became more and more fierce as he spoke. Seeing this, Lu Honglin stopped him and said, Zhao Jing, don't say anything. I believe Yi Tian must have his reasons. After Lu Honglin finished speaking, she turned to look at Yi Tian. She hoped that Yi Tian could explain. She didn't know why, but she felt that Yi Tian was not a person who shot without purpose. Maybe Yi Tian really had the confidence to help her defeat Hu Xiaochen and his men, just like he agreed to Wu Ming's challenge before. No one was optimistic about Yi Tian at that time. But the final result was that this overly handsome boy defeated the genius Wu Ming, who was favored by countless people, with one sword. She was curious about Yi Tian, a genius who cultivated the Thunder King Gong in half an hour, and went to watch the battle. When she saw Yi Tian take action, she was shocked by Yi Tian's talent. At that time, she also realized that although she was called the first genius of the Genius Pavilion, but compared with Yi Tian, the gap was not a little bit. So after hearing Yi Tian's words, she did not explain to Hu Xiaochen and others immediately, nor did she stop them from leaving. She just thought about it in her heart. Otherwise, with her speed of thunder step, if she didn't want to, it would be difficult for Hu Xiaochen and others to leave in front of her. Lu Honglin felt that she seemed to be secretly expecting a miracle to happen. So she didn't stop Hu Xiaochen and others from spreading the bet. Yi Tian knew the doubts of his teammates, but he didn't care about Xie Fei and Zhao Jing at all. Facing Lu Honglin's gaze, Yi Tian smiled and said, Captain, don't worry, I'll get this general-level fiery pill for you. Yi Tian didn't continue to explain after saying this. He knew that only the weak need to explain constantly, and the strong only need to swing the knife. However, his tone was firm and unquestionable, just like a backing stone that gave people endless confidence. Of course, not including Xie Fei and Zhao Jing. In addition to some doubts, Li Shan also believed in Yi Tian's words. Lu Honglin was stunned for a moment, and then she nodded solemnly to Yi Tian and said, Okay, Yi Tian, I believe you, but I will also try my best to get contribution points. Captain, and me too. Seeing that the captain chose to believe Yi Tian, Li Shan patted his chest and promised. He doesn't like to think deeply. But once the decision is made by someone he approves of, he is willing to be the first to stand up and support. In addition, Li Shan also can't stand Hu Shaochen, who bullies others by taking advantage of his power, and is willing to help Lu Honglin, and it will not affect his own interests. Humph, I don't know where Yi Tian got the confidence from. Do you really think we can beat Hu Shaochen and his people? Dream on. Seeing that Lu Honglin chose to believe Yi Tian, Xie Fei was very unhappy but dared to whisper to Zhao Jing. Isn't it? Hu Shaochen's people are much stronger than us, and they have powerful weapons. How can we compare with them? Yi Tian is just a newborn calf who is not afraid of tigers, so he is so arrogant. He will feel good after being slapped in the face. It's a pity for the captain, because this kid's recklessness will ruin his life. Zhao Jing sighed. He was angry at Yi Tian's recklessness. He also felt sorry for the captain's fate. Although Hu Shaochen only made one request. But the premise is no matter how excessive it is. With Hu Shaochen's greed for their captain, it is naturally impossible to make any good requests. Captain, don't worry, I will also try my best to kill the monsters to help you. Although Zhao Jing was unhappy with Yi Tian, he admired Lu Honglin very much. In addition, he also had justice in his heart. Xie Fei also nodded and said, I will also try my best to kill the monsters. In fact, I have been unhappy with Hu Shaochen and others for a long time. As he said that, Xie Fei secretly glanced in the direction of Hu Shaochen and others, and saw that they had walked far away, and then his voice gradually became louder. After Xie Fei finished speaking, he did not forget to scorn Yi Tian. His eyes seemed to say, boy, it's all your fault. Soon, Hu Shaochen brought his 4 team members back to the 8th wall section where they were stationed. Hu Shaochen did not forget to cast a provocative look at Yi Tian and the others, and then he looked at Lu Honglin and said in a light tone, Beautiful Miss Lu Honglin, after the task of guarding the medicine is over, you can wash your body and wait for me to favor you. I will definitely make you feel like you are in heaven and you will gain a lot, ha ha ha. As if he felt that he had already won, Hu Shaochen laughed wantonly. While laughing, he turned his head to look at Yi Tian and shouted loudly, Yi Tian, thank you for helping me so much, I will give you benefits. As soon as he finished speaking, Xie Fei and Zhao Jing snorted at Yi Tian, as if to verify their previous guess. However, Lu Honglin knew that Li Shan knew that this was Hu Shaochen's provocation. He wanted to make their team separate. This way they can be more sure of winning. It must be said that Hu Shaochen is very smart, and his strategies come one after another. However, none of his schemes can be put on the table, especially it is unclear who is the big king and the small king. Then I would like to thank Master Hu first. Since Master Hu has said so, please give me the king level top grade weapon that you promised to give me. I tell you, if you dare to go back on your word, your bet with our captain will be invalid. Yi Tian was not angry because Hu Shaochen used him to provoke his teammates. Instead, he smiled and thanked him, and then dug a big pit for the other party. Sure enough, after hearing Yi Tian's words, Hu Shaochen's body shook violently. The smug expression on his face quickly solidified. He was stunned for a while before rushing to Yi Tian and shouting angrily, Yi Tian, when did I promise to give you a king-level top-grade weapon? There are only a few weapons of this level in the entire Ancheng city. You really dare to speak up, and you are not afraid of the wind blowing your tongue away. As he said this, Hu Shaochen was worried that Lu Honglin would take this opportunity to deny the bet with him, so he immediately shouted, when you accepted the bet with me on behalf of Lu Honglin herself did not refuse, so she obviously agreed. And now all the martial artists here know that Lu Honglin and I made a bet, and you can't regret it now. If you have the guts, use your contribution points to talk to me. Hu Shaochen's tone became more and more cold as he spoke. His eyes towards Yi Tian also became more and more unfriendly. Humph, Yi Tian, do you really think that you are a martial emperor just because you have the appearance of a martial emperor? There are so many people with the appearance of a martial emperor in Longguo. But less than 1% of them can become a martial emperor in the end. You are just a low-level martial artist. You should survive the medicine guarding mission first before you become arrogant. Hearing Hu Shaochen's mocking words, Yi Tian did not continue to argue with him, but said in a cold voice. Hu Shaochen, it doesn't matter if you don't admit it. I will go to your Hu family to get it after the medicine guarding mission is over. If your Hu family doesn't give it to you at that time, don't blame me for being rude to your Hu family. As soon as these words came out, Hu Shaochen was furious, and he immediately shouted. Yu Yitian, you are endless, right? Well, I will wait for you at home after the medicine guarding mission is over. Then I will see if you dare to break into my Hu family. Don't blame me for not reminding you. My Hu family is not something that anyone can break into. If you can't get out, don't blame my Hu family for being ruthless. The two of them spoke loudly, and soon attracted the attention of many teams around. What's the situation with those two? Does the Hu family have a king-level top-grade weapon? What bullshit, our martial arts school probably only has one king-level top-grade weapon. The strongest old patriarch of the Hu family is only a quasi-martial king. How could he have a weapon of this level? But Yi Tian is so bold. He actually dared to ask the Hu family for a king-level top-grade weapon. He didn't really think that he was the first genius in our martial arts school and could do whatever he wanted, right? Who knows what this genius is thinking? But it seems that Lu Honglin's agreement to Hu Shaochen's bet has something to do with Yi Tian, and Hu Shaochen also promised to give Yi Tian benefits. Come on, who is Lu Honglin? If Yi Tian and Hu Shaochen are colluding, would she allow Yi Tian to stay in her team? She would have asked the steward to replace Yi Tian long ago. It seems that Hu Shaochen is using a divisive tactic, but it seems that Yi Tian tricked him. That depends on whether Yi Tian has the ability. He should have practiced the secret technique of hiding his breath, so I can't see his cultivation level. But he was only a level 3 martial artist before, and now he is at most a level 4 martial artist. Even if he has 10,000 guts, he dare not break into the Hu family. Yi Tian is just talking nonsense. If he dares to break into the Hu family to ask for weapons after the mission, Wu Dare, will stand upside down and eat shit. The most regrettable thing is that Lu Honglin agreed to Hu Shaochen's bet. The overall strength of their team is far worse than that of Hu Shaochen's team. I didn't expect that Lu Honglin, this beautiful flower, would eventually fall into Hu Shaochen's hands. I feel so upset when I think of this. But what if a miracle happens? Miracle. I would rather believe that I am Qin Shi Huang than believe in miracles. Since I lent my light to Tiga in my childhood, my future has been dark, and I no longer believe in miracles. On the north wall, people were talking about it. Some felt sorry that Lu Honglin would suffer the murder of Hu Shaochen. Some felt that Yi Tian would not dare to break into the Hu family. Some were just watching the fun. Just as everyone was talking about it, Yuan medicines began to mature in the Yuan medicine base. A mixed aroma of various Yuan medicines after maturity floated up. Soon it floated to the wall. Then it floated to the forest outside. Roar! Suddenly a strange beast roared. Then, roar, roar, roar. A large number of strange beasts outside the wall smelled these aromas, and they rushed to the Yuan medicine base as if they had taken stimulants. At this moment, the ground outside the city was shaking, and dust was flying dozens of meters high. Hearing these noises, all the practitioners on the city wall immediately stopped talking and laughing and began to be on high alert. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.